next slide. But before that, just a few guidelines for the meeting. The session will be in the short introduction, and then immediately after that, the Ravi sir, the speaker, will be talking about the actual content of the tax strategies. Please try to keep yourself muted as much as possible, and we will have a Q&A session at the end immediately after the session, where you will have time to unmute yourself and then ask questions. And also, if possible, try to keep your questions brief and specific so that we can accommodate as much as question possible, right? And yeah, try to be stay engaged and respectful of everyone's time. Okay, let's play the Tamil Thai Valtu.
ஸோ இது ப்ளே பண்ணும்போது எதர் உங்களால் எந்திரிச்சு நிற்க முடிஞ்சான்னு இல்லைங்க, இல்லாட்டா வீடியோ ஆஃப் பண்ணிடுங்க.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் மதனமென நிகழ்வரத கண்டனிதில் எக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனன் திருநாடும்
தக்க சிறு திரை முதலும் தரித்தனமும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே. நன்றி. Actually, you're in mute, Aristotle. I think, I don't know. உங்களோட மியூட் ஆயிடுச்சு. அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கோ. Okay. Yeah, you're good.
Can you hear me now?
Good.
Yeah.
Good, Aristotle.
Good.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the high level agenda will be like we'll have a quick 1 or 2 minutes. We'll talk about the Tamil Mandram and then the executive committee members. Then immediately we'll hand it over to Ravi sir. Then the tax session for like 30-35 minutes. He will talk about the entire tax strategies. Then within another 1 or 2 minutes, we'll have this membership drive and then upcoming program from Tamil Mandram. Then immediately after that, we'll have a Q&A session. So we'll have enough time to ask the questions immediately after the tax session. So please be patient and let the Ravi sir complete his sessions. Until then, please be patient and wait for your turn. Okay. Then finally, we'll have a thank you note and closing. Okay, Tamil Mandram, right? So San Francisco Bay Area Tamil Mandram is a 46-year, actually it's a 46-year-old and very rich legacy with members across the Bay Area. We have members all over the Bay Area, all the way starting from Cupertino, San Jose, and Tracy, and everywhere. So if you are not a member, I would strongly recommend try to be a member, and we will provide more information in the subsequent slides. What we do actually, see, we will provide many services and also some community events. I'll quickly talk about what we do. So we provide like educational and enterprise initiatives. Like we have last year, we have organized the AA workshop. It's a 2-day workshop which helped a lot of students as well as the working professionals. And also we organized entrepreneurs meetups in the end of the year. And also we help the people who can upskill their career in terms of the technology and also interview preparation and other stuffs. Other than that, we also organize the community events. There are like 4 to 5 major events we will organize. This will be covered in the later stage. And also we do community services to the local people. Like for example, like last week we had a blood drive, and there are a lot of people who came and donated the blood, and we are planning to have the CPR training and also the medical camp sooner. And we also help the homeless people in the local community by doing this Feed the Hunger and then Bread of Life organization. And then this point, the emergency support service is very important, since most of us are immigrants, and whenever we face some medical emergency, that's when we need higher officials. For example, like Consulate General of India and a few other organizations, we closely work with them so that we can get any help in terms of the emergency situation. For example, or whatever the reason we have to travel to India, if we can get some help, and then we will be able to provide that support. And we recently launched a matrimonial website, which is mainly to help the Tamil people, to find their match in terms of like if they have a son or daughter, and they can definitely come and register their profiles on this website. We are currently working on it. It's currently under construction. Also, we have recently launched, but it's currently under construction. So you should be able to register here and try to find other profiles. So I would strongly recommend use this service as much as possible if you have any daughter and son who are in that age group. And then the last one is a sponsor discount. We also have a lot of sponsor under the various categories, like realtors, restaurants, right? So if you want to buy house, sell house, or anything related to the properties, definitely we have very good sponsors. They are the realtors who can help you to navigate this process. Many times it's very hard to find real good realtors who can help us to really buy the house and continue with this. So like that, we have sponsors from restaurants where you can get some discounts, and also we have a sponsor from educational services. For example, if you have a son or daughter who are at the middle school or high school, you wanted to know how can they get into the higher good college, what kind of help they can get from this Tamil Mandram. So we have sponsors from all these categories. And of course, tax and wealth, and you will be hearing a lot more information from Ravi sir today, and also dentists and many more, right? In case you need any help from Tamil Mandram, you can always reach out to through email, the info@sfbatm.org, or the phone number or the website, right? With that, I would like to introduce our executive committee members. I'll start with the president, Mr. Rajesh Ramasamy. Rajesh.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கங்க. என் பேர் ராஜேஷ் ராமசாமி. My name is Rajesh. I'm the current president of San Francisco Bay Area Tamil Mandram, San Francisco Valigoda Padi Tamil Mandram. So welcome you all. We have a lot of already my VP administrator like already explained all those things. So I don't want to take much time. I want you to have all the very good session with Ravi having. So welcome all, and who are not a member, please try to register. And we have many events are there, so we will try to explain the coming slides and events. Okay. Thank you very much. Over to Aristotle.
Thanks, Rajesh. Yeah, Vice President Administration, it's me, Aristotle. I think I'm Aristotle. I am a Vice President, and right now I'm coordinating these sessions. Yeah, welcome all. And if you are not a member, please join, and we can work together. We can grow the Tamil community as much as possible. And if you want to contribute, donate to our community also, please reach out to one of us. Yeah. Next, I would like to invite Vice President Cultural, Saritha Annadurai.
வணக்கம்ங்க, எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். The event slide வரும்போது நம்ம அதை எல்லாத்தையும் பேசிக்கிறேங்க. நன்றி.
Okay, thank you, Saritha. And next, Secretary Vimalata Jagan.
Good evening, all. I am Secretary 2026, Valigoda Pagadi Tamil Mandram. I invite all the members and the non-members. This is going to be a wonderful, informative session. Thanks to Mr. Ravi for graciously accepting us and offering us to do a session online. Please try to make as much as use of it, and please ask as many as questions which would be helpful to you as well as to others. Thank you.
Thanks, Vimalata. Next, Treasurer Varadarajan Muralikrishnan.
Varadarajan Munikrishnan. It's a typo. Okay. Anaivarukkum vanakkam. Everyone have a very good evening, and this is going to be a very useful session from Mr. Ravi. He brings a lot of rich expertise from his experience and his education background also. Make use of it. As Sarita told, we'll talk about more events about our slides on the welcome you all for Tamil Mandram. And one thing I want to add, some of the initiative which Tamil Mandram takes is not only for a Tamil community, it's also for a wider background, non-Tamil also. For example, jobs, help, urgent help, something like that we do. Please encourage all your friends to utilize our services, various services. Thank you.
Thanks, Varadhan. Convener Amuda Palanichami.
Thank you, Aristotle. கேக்குதுங்களா நான் பேசுறது?
Yes, we can
ஓகே
hear you.
ஓகே எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கங்க. நான் வந்து கன்வீனர் ஃபார் சான் பிரான்சிஸ்கோ வளைகுடா பகுதி தமிழ் மன்றத்தில். ஸோ நம்ம இப்போ எல்லாரும் டேக்ஸ் ஃபைல் பண்ண போகிறோம் இந்த வருஷம். ஸோ யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும் இந்த செஷன். லவ் யூ, வெல்கம்ங்க.
Thanks, Amuda. And last but not least, honorary member, the last year president, Govind Gopal.
Thank you, Aristotle. அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். என் பேர் கோவிந்த் கோபால். இந்த வருஷம் ஆனரி மெம்பராக இருக்கேன். ஸோ ரவி அவர்களுக்கு நன்றி. ஏன்னா வந்து தமிழ் மன்றத்துக்கு நீண்ட நாள் ஆதரவாளர். ஸோ அவர் வந்து முன்னாடியே வந்து ஆனந்த பவன் அப்படின்னு ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் ப்ரோவலராக இருந்திருக்காரு. இப்போ வந்து டேக்ஸ்னாக்க டேக்ஸ் சேவிங்ஸ் ஒன்று சொல்ல போகிறாரு. டேக்ஸில் எப்படி சேவ் பண்ணுறதுன்னு அவருடைய செஷனை எல்லாருமே நீங்கள் வந்து கவனிச்சிருந்தீங்கன்னா, ஏன்னா நான் வந்து ப்ரிவியூ முன்னாடி பார்த்துருக்கேன். அந்த சேர்த்த டேக்ஸை வந்து எப்படி மல்டிப்ளை பண்ணலாங்கிறதும் சொல்லுவார். ஸோ இட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி வெரி யூஸ்ஃபுல் செஷன். ஈச் ஸ்லைட் அவர் வந்து நிறையா எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுவார். தேங்க்யூ 2026 கமிட்டி இதை அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணி ஒரு மக்களுக்கு ஒரு யூஸ்ஃபுல்லான ப்ரோக்ராம் கொடுத்ததுக்கு தேங்க்யூ, நன்றி.
Thanks, Govind. And with that, I'd like to give a small intro about Ravi sir. Okay, so Ravi sir is actually a chartered accountant and a certified tax preparer. He has 30 plus years of accounting and tax experience across multiple industries, right? So, and he is specialized in company formation and structuring to the maximize tax benefits. Also, his expertise in individual and business tax filing. He advises on retirement and wealth strategies, especially for a backdoor Roth and Mega Roth, as well as the tax-free growth planning. And he provides inheritance and gift tax planning strategies as well. So it's going to be really great sessions. I would definitely encourage everyone to make use of this time. With that, I don't want to take more time, and I would like to welcome Mr. Ravi sir to take over. Thank you, sir. It's all yours.
Welcome, Ravi.
Let me stop sharing my screen. Yes.
Ravi sir, can you please unmute yourself? Yes, we're good.
Now you can hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you all. So yeah, I want to start off with my first thanking note to Bay Area Tamil Mandram. I know everyone has a busy schedule in that putting together some time itself is a big thing. These days, time is the most precious, as everyone knows. Okay, so to start with, Mr. Rajesh, is known for his leadership. I think all of us can understand. A very young and energetic person. I know him for quite some time, close to 15 years, I would say. Seeing him, for the last 1 or 2 decades, I'm still admire where does he get the energy. Okay, even today, before you all joined, I know what all he was involved today. After all that, when he comes here again, the same energy. That's something astounding. Thank you, Mr. Rajesh. Continue with your energy. God bless you. Right. And extendly thank to Mr. Aris. I think he's known for his patience. I don't know where does he get the patience, and I'm very impressed. I wish you continue, Mr. Aris, and you inspire all of us to carry that kind of attitude. Ms. Sarita, I know for a short time, but very motivational. I'm glad to see your motivational, speech and encouraging the people. Thank you for that. Thank you, Ms. Vimalata. And not knowing much about I don't know much background, but I wish you all being part of this wonderful committee here. Want to extend the thank to Mr. Varada, known for his, again, humbleness. I think you all can understand. Thank you again, sir, to be part of this wonderful team. That's very nice to see all people join together, and wanted to, continue the extension of my thank to Mr. Gopal, whom I know for 2+ decades. I think most of us know him. He's a well-known Bay Area community person. Like more than whatever he's serving to the community. Like he's always there for anybody. No question
Yes.
being asked. So that's one of the very wonderful service which is extending. I am not sure again same as Mr. Rajesh, where does he get energy and time to do to this level of service? I've not seen him anywhere even getting angry. I don't know how that is impossible. These are all inspiring character and not to just make everybody happy. And I'm saying this is it is a wonderful team, and all of them joining together. It's again so nice to see that one. I always used to to say this one. Even I think most of the people know this. I mentioned even in the previous iteration also. It's my dream, so being in US for 2.5 decades here. I came in 1998. It's my dream always so we as a community, we serve to everyone, but at the end I kind of felt there is some kind of power play or some kind of friction which always kind of being inconveniences most of the members. So organizers are spending time, but the members are discount. But then last 4 or 5 years, what I was seeing, I'm even having a hard time to remember who is the current president. Knowing Mr. Rajesh, now I know who is the current president. That kind of trend itself has changed, right? That is a phenomenal change, which was a dream come true, thing which is happening right now. So thank you so much for the entire team. Some of the team members are not here, from the previous, the committee. Thanks to all of them. I repeatedly say this one. Having said this one, I move on to the next, my part of the presentation. So today's presentation, I'll make it this way, okay? This is not going to be about any particular IRS section, IRS provisions and whatnot and all those things. That's all more technical. I'm not going to get that. This session is completely an awareness session, okay? For a practical, real life, topics, what we need it, very practical language, practical, experience, all my, experience together. I've been in the industry for so long, various industries, various, type of the people, all put together is what, I'm applying into the, the tax practice. Okay. Having said this, there are a lot of people who has a W income, some have businesses. Okay. So how do we capitalize, whether it's a W2 or with the business or, only the business, how do we, capitalize the opportunities, which is available? There are many, areas I can say, we all know, we have read, we have heard, but we have not used it. Okay, that is what you would say a little difference here. Okay, again, this session is not exclusively for only the tax related discussion. Okay, what I put together here is okay, it's the entire wealth planning. Okay, when I say wealth, which includes not just the money, your life protection, your asset protection, your inheritance, everything includes. Okay, it is not today's benefit what you're going to get it. It is a futuristic benefit. So having said this one, so I would handle many different the wealthy clients. When I say wealthy, the definition of this their money grows while they are sleeping, whereas as we know, we work even while we are sleeping. Okay, that's a difference which I can say. So how do you make it happen? Is it that difficult? No, it is not at all difficult. It is very easy. Just that we need to plan it. We need to make it in a way how that can be done. But it doesn't happen overnight, over over a week or over a month. It is a process which happens over a decade. Okay, 1 decade of effort, if you put in just being this tax strategy planning, the next decade you will see a difference. You will thank me for sure. I've seen repeatedly many people who are adopted some of the strategy, they thank me for after 5-6 years. Okay, a lot of things what I say, most of the things you might even know about it. Okay, so please bear with me. It might be repetition, it might be boring. I'm giving you, heads up right notes. It might be boring, and you might say, hey, I know this one, I've heard about it, I've seen this one, or I'm doing it. Okay, but please, those who are doing it, bear with me. It will be boring, but at the end of the session, you will see a little difference of what you you have been doing and what you heard. For many other people, what they've heard, how easy to apply in their life is what more important. Okay, so at the end of this session is to have a clarity and go with some different perspective on the tax planning. Okay, it is not as complicated. It is not something you have to go to a tax attorney. It is not something very high amount to get these benefits. Okay, it is a very simple certain things you'll say. Okay, that's all it takes. Okay, well, let's start planning on it. Right. So now, having said this, like, at the end of the session, like, most likely you all will, get to see, like, how to avoid the overpaying taxes legally. Okay, again, the word the legal is very important. Like, there are what is there in the legal way, like, to protect tax against what, like, like, okay, build the wealth with the right amount of strategy. Okay, not a guesswork. Not like going just assuming. Okay, avoid sometimes like IRS notice, not a big deal. Like, again, people freak out whenever they get any notice. Like, nothing. This is yet another letter, yet another thing. Like, okay, when it comes, like, how do you do it? Okay, but then my goal is any tax file, like, which you prepare, I make sure, like, next 3 years you don't get any notices. How do you do that one? That's the planning. That's all. Like, that's all. Okay, so having said that one, any tax returns, like, which we prepare, when we keep in mind, like, 3 years, we know, like, what all IRS looks for it, right? So those things, like, if we have in compliance, it's the same thing what you're doing it, but then if you do it little differently, you have to face the situation, or you may not get the notice, like, but you will be keep thinking, like, I made a small mistake, and will that impact me, right? So it is like, always I say, like, okay, right, peace versus money, which one you want? Like, we all know the answer is very simple, right? Peace, right? And a very, very simple, like, everyone knows it. But then how do we achieve that peace versus money, right? So having said that one, that's what, when you prepare, when you file the tax return, if you can, like, adopt into this thing, then all these things, like, follow through things will happen. Okay, this is just like, more of compliance perspective. The first one I said, like, tax strategy, tax planning, like, where you save the taxes. Second is, like, compliance, like, okay, even though, like, you are not completely, like, using all the things, but if as long as you are in compliance, you don't need to worry about it. Is it that complicated? There are many, cases, like, you go to online, you will see, like, a lot of people are talking about, like, many things, like, just carrying the thing. Oh, if you're not done, okay, prepare yourself. If you're not, if you're not following this one, not at all. Like, practical experience is all different. Like, because I'll make it clear here. Okay, having said this one, at the end of this session, like, it's a practical, real-time life exposure is what, like, I'm going to share it here. With that being said, like, I will move on to my, presentations here. Okay, let me start sharing my screen here. So, are you able to see my screen here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I'm going to do the full screen. Okay, are you able to see my full screen here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me get started. So, like, so just as the intro, and then the next screen is, this is more of, like, deadlines. Okay, I don't want to spend, like, much time on, like, and I just, like, wanted to highlight here. Most of you might know, like, okay, again, as I said, I'm not going to get into the details of, the sections of IRS, like, what provisions are. Okay, so these are deadlines. Like, I had the high level, if you know, like, about the, whether it's a IRA contribution, or foreign contribution, or Roth contribution, or what are the deadlines, right? Okay, so most of the deadlines are, like, 12/31. Every year, 12/31 is a clock which stops. Okay, most of it. Some are April 15. Okay, we don't need to deep dive into the which one is 15, which one is, like, 35. That doesn't really is going to help. Like, nobody's going to, like, even remember all this thing. Okay, but just, like, to remember, like, majority of the tax savings and planning should happen before 12/31. Okay, some you have a leverage to, like, do it by April 15th, or with the exception, like, even October 15th. Okay, so my thing is, like, 90% comes on the 12/31 deadline. So, if you want to make sure anything, like, you plan it, you do it at the previous year, or if you're doing for this year, it's current year. I always tell all my clients, like, okay, tax planning, do it at the beginning of the year. Tax filing, do it at the end of the year. Okay, so just keep this in mind in general. Like, okay, having said this one, at the top, like, whatever you're seeing, like, that's for the W2 people, like, traditional or 401k, and for the self-employed people, it's called the SIP, IRA, and those things. Like, and again, if you have both, like, in W2 and the business, both are applicable with certain, like, limitations. Like, okay, now the next one is so I'm going to, like, divide my discussion today into, like, four different parts. Okay, the first one is the wealth management. When I say wealth management, I will subdivide into, like, pre-tax, post-tax. Most of you know, when I say pre-tax, example of 401k, everyone knows. I'm not going to talk about the 401k. I assure you, I promise you, like, I'm not going to talk about 401k detail today. I'm not talk about, like, mortgage interest. There's a no-brainer. Everyone knows about it. I'm going to talk about things, like, which you have heard about, you have studied about it, but you have not implemented. Okay, that's the main focus today. Okay, so pre-tax, when it comes, like, okay, a certain amount of savings which you can save it. Again, this is not the tax-free; it's a tax deferred. Meaning, as you know, like, okay, you have to pay tax at some point in time, but it grows as a like, tax deferred. So it's not a tax free. That's called the pre-tax contributions, right? Okay. So example, if 401k is a loan one, and then there is like, underneath, like, you have a traditional IRA, you have like SEPA IRA, and then solo 401k, all these things, like, depending on the personal, W2 versus like, business. Okay. But these are the ones like available. But underneath, like, you can see there's something called like defined, and it's all for a set of people. Like, and I'll leave it, but the reason I'm putting it, like, all these things are available. So if you have to, like, see this one, like, what all you can do it. Okay, right? I'm not a big fan of like, FSA. I'm a big, again, even HSA also, like, I'm not a big fan of it. But if people are doing it, like, I say it's fine. It's not a bad thing, but it's, again, it's not a good tax strategy. So details, I'll get it later. But at this time, like, whatever it's there, like, I just put it as a pre-tax contribution. Remember this one, it is not a tax-free, it is a tax deferred. You have to pay at some point in time in your life when you start with the drawing. So 15.5 or 70 to R&D, like, okay, so the thing. So the next one.
Suggestion, you're going too fast. If you could slow down, that will be great.
Great. Sorry. Okay. We'll try. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the comment. Like, okay. Okay. So the next one is, I call out on the pre-tax. It's a HSA. Again, the previous screens, like, I did mention about this one. The reason I put it like as a call out, this one is like, it's a triple tax advantage. Okay. As you can see, when you contribute, you don't pay tax. It's a tax deferred. Growth is tax deferred. And when you withdraw, also tax deferred, subject to certain types of withdrawals. Okay, that's why it's called the triple tax advantage. A lot of people are going to want to do it, but again, I'm not a big fan of it because there are other investments like where you can grow money in a much better way. Okay, that are not like later we'll take it. You can just remember, okay, there is HSA, but it's not a big big tax saving strategy as such. Right now. So, first I said, like, the 4 parts of discussion. The first one is the wealth management, pre-tax and post-tax is what the wealth management comes. The second set of discussions, like, is going to be on the high income tax strategy. The third one is going to be on your life protection. The fourth one is going to be the asset protection. Okay, though life protection, asset protection, I don't do any of the services, but the reason I cover it here is from the tax perspective. You do, only the tax savings. But what do you do after the tax savings? How do you grow the wealth? And then how do you protect the wealth? That's why, like, I'm covering the asset protection, life protection as part of my, my webinar here, or all my discussion, to make sure, like, your all financial is protected here. That's all, we are looking for it, right? Okay. So now, having said this one, the first set of, discussion is with the wealth management. So pre-tax is what the first right now, we talked about it. The next one is the post-tax. This is my sweet spot. This is the most important, thing which I tell all my clients. Okay, I kind of I want to highlight these main 2 things: the Roth high protection and tax-free generation wealth. As you can see, I highlighted in the red font here. It's the most important, the Roth part. Okay, a lot of people heard about what is Roth. They know what is backdoor Roth. They know they are doing it. They also heard about mega Roth. 75% of my clients, they don't do the mega Roth. When they come to me only, okay, I've heard about it, but I don't know how to do that one. Okay. Now, my sweet spot is Roth contribution is a sweet spot. Why I say it is a post-tax contribution, which means you are not getting any tax benefit immediately. It is not a tax deductible, kind of like 401k. It is that post-tax money. Then where does the benefit comes? It is a growth is what we are talking about. So the growth is completely tax-free, right? Okay, no brainer. Okay, I put a post-tax and then it grows tax-free. Then what's what is a big benefit you're getting it? Imagine a case okay, you put in you open a stock in a brokerage account. You put in 30K on it. You start start trading on that account. When you make a profit, we all know what it is, right? You have to pay a capital gain tax. Depending on ST or LT, short term or long term, based on the 12-month criteria, you do pay tax on it. But the same thing, if someone says you don't need to pay tax, it's completely tax free. Isn't it a sweet spot? Absolutely right. Okay, so it's very important, to consider Roth contribution immediately as soon as possible, and this clock stops on 12/31 for some, and some it's still April 15th. Okay, so now I said 2 things on the top, one is the high protection, and the other one is tax-free generational wealth. The tax-free generational wealth is what I just told you. So it grows in a way where down the road on a compound basis, it's a huge benefit. Okay, I'm going to share 2 slides here. Hopefully I can get it here without any technical glitch. I'm not a strong technical person. Okay, I want to share this. You all might have heard about Peter Thiel, who is the founder of PayPal. Most of you might have heard about him. It's giving me a challenge here.
Yeah, we are seeing your screen, Ravi.
You're able to see my screen?
Yes, yes.
You're not? You're able to see my screen. Okay. I don't know. It says like some donation something.
Actually, yeah, it's donation screen is coming. So
yeah. Okay. Well, just like we do it. It's just testing my technical skill. Okay. Okay. Now, we all know like Pete. Most of us might have heard about Pete. Peter Thiel is a founder of PayPal. Okay. Not like big deal here. Okay, whatever money he makes, his money. We all understand that point. So okay, but you can see that his Roth account is sitting at 5 billion as a tax-free money. Okay, right? Okay, so what okay, he made a money and as a big guy and all this thing. Okay, but what we wanted to learn from this one is okay. So this guy, this person, okay, I'm sorry to say, guy, he's a genius. Okay, so this person has started his Roth in 1999, not too far. The year before I came into the US. So a person who started a year later sitting at 5 billion. So if he makes a 5 billion, I can guarantee and assure you all make at least 5 million minimum. Guarantee that one. It's just like we have not done, they have done it. Now that's only different. So he started off his a Roth account with a worth of 2,000 in 1999, and now he's sitting at 5 billion. Not a taxable money, tax-free money. How does it happen? So that's the power of Roth. So Roth is the account where you can contribute and invest in anything, whatever you want to invest in stock, you want to invest in real estate, you want to invest in business, anything you can do it. Okay, and the growth is completely tax-free, which means it goes within itself. Okay, people also say okay, there is a flip side. If I invest in the Roth again, it's a retirement account. I can't take any money from up to 1,500 years. That is true. It is a retirement account. Why we even talk about that? Why even bother about it? But having said that one again, I'm saying in the Roth, the pros is okay, whatever the money you contribute, you can take it anytime. Only the growth you cannot take it, because the money you put in is a after-tax money, which is your money. It's like bank money, right? You can take out any time from the bank account, same as okay. There's a lot of misconception. People think okay, the money is getting locked. No, money is not getting locked. Your principal is not getting locked. Only the growth is getting locked. Okay, but again, growth also, if you take 10%, cannot get up. But I'm saying don't even worry about those things. This is a retirement account. Just leave it. So I recommend all my people okay, do both pre-tax and post-tax. Not everything in one bucket. Both you contribute, both balance it, you will see a phenomenal growth. Now I want to show the next one here. Okay. So the next one is it's a compound rate interest. Again, whoever is a financial and a background, they'll very easily understand. Even non-financial people also, compound interest people know an interest on interest is what the compound interest means. So how this one helps. So when I talk about the Roth, say I'm not again, mainly focused on husband and wife, as spouse, okay, you already have a retirement account, you might do a backdoor Roth, okay, that is solid, fine, okay. But my main focus is for the younger generation, the younger kids, those who have a young kids with the age of 5 to 10. I strongly recommend to start the Roth contribution. Now here is the question repeatedly comes to me oh, I heard yes, we can do it. I studied, but then I also heard they should have an earned income. Yes, that is correct. The definition of earned income again is either they should have W-2. If it's a W-2, which means you have to process a payroll. If you have to pay a payroll, then you have to pay payroll tax. Complexity increases. Second thing, you need to have a 1099. 1099 is like in a contract, then you can issue a 1099. Okay, so if I issue 1099, again, I need to have a company. Again, a complexity adds. Okay, but then I don't have a company. How do I do this one? Can I just gift it? No, you cannot gift it. Okay, having said all this, okay, you said everything, no, but then how do I contribute to the kids? That is where the expertise comes. There are legal ways where you can contribute to your kids as a Roth contribution at the age of, I'm just saying very, very okay, hypothetically, even at the age of 4 or 5. How is it possible? Yes, 4 or 5 year old kid can help you at the house. There are certain ways you can do that one, right? Okay. Now, having said that, at the age of 5, if you start your Roth to your kids, I'm just going to make a calculation. This is just the awareness session. Again, as I said, these 50 people, whoever is here, can go and share this knowledge, because this is one of the most powerful strategy all the wealthy people has been doing it repeatedly years and years. This is where the first statement which I said, your money should grow while you're sleeping. This is one of the important things. Okay, now I'm going to show you this one. If you already know, please bear with me if I repeat. Assuming that your kid is 5-year-old. Just an example I'm saying. Okay, assuming that your kid is a 5-year-old, you're starting at 7,000 Roth contribution. I know it increases, year over year. I'm just saying only 7,000 as of 25. It's the same thing. Okay, you start up with 7,000 and then annual contribution you do a 7,000. The ROI, return on investment, compound base, I'm taking 12%. If people ask me hey, in 12%, how is it possible? Even 8-10% is a difficult. No, 12. I have seen repeatedly, for the last 2 decades, 12% is a very easy ROI you can get it. It's not a big complex thing which I can guide you through that one. Okay. Now, having said that one, ROI 12%, and then current age is 5, retirement age is 60. People are putting the retirement account. It's small discipline for the kids. Retirement age is 65. And then tax rate, leave it just just for the sake it's coming, what are the tax rate? Okay, now if you see the compound rate, there are 3 different compound, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. I'm taking the yearly the calculations, okay. If I take it okay, you are reading the numbers here correctly. Whatever you are contributed, Roth IRA, this is what we want to look at. Whatever your contribution is 427,000 for the entire 60 years. You're contributed for 60 years. So your contribution amount is 427,000. But what's the balance at the age of 65? Yes, you are reading it correctly. It's 58.5 million. So $500,000, if you take the contribution, 58 million is what is sitting at the kids' account. Isn't it a sweet deal? I kind of if you see, I'm here for 27 years, half of the life is, we spent here. Personally, even I didn't know about this one when I came in. Okay, so it's all experience. In fact, when I was knocking the door of many people, I was not getting this advice. So I'm a qualified person. I didn't know about this US, taxation perspective. But after I, get into the practice, when I come to know about this is a sweet deal, which many of me, even I would say, even if you're not done, don't think you are left alone. One of the crowd number, 90% of the client are not doing this one. Only when they started coming, they start doing it. Those who even invested last 6-7 years, they've thanked me a lot. How this money has grown, how it is sitting. Now the next thing is okay, say that's really a long period, 60 years of planning. What do we do with the yes, we all get to see angel at some point. That's all fine. But it's a small financial discipline which you are giving to the kids. You contribute up to the age of 20. And then after that, they take it over. In 15 years, this money grows in a bigger way. When they see, they obviously learn that discipline. Okay. Now, I want to step back to the how I compare with the the wealthy people. Okay, right? So they are not gone to Stanford or Harvard. They all learn from their family. I have with the files which are sitting 60-70 years, the money has grown. People who have bought a property for just 500,000 today sitting at 40-42 million. Okay, how does it happen? It's just an inheritance. They are not paid tax. They just defer the tax and then completely tax-free transfer on the inheritance. We're going to cover the inheritance a little later. But what I say is okay, this is one of the strategies which they've been following, right? So every one of us should do it. We are into the community. People repeatedly ask hey, are you saying I'm rich? Of course you are rich. Not just for the sake of it, I'm saying we are. But only thing is the difference is their money grows while they're sleeping, whereas ours is not. That's the only difference. Other than that, we all have a good amount of net worth, which should multiply, in this formula. Right? Okay. Now, having said this one, for the kids, it's the most important thing which I recommend strongly to start immediately as soon as possible. If possible, I can even do it. This year, you still have a time. Okay. But how do you do it? I can guide you through the after the session, or you can yourself look into that one. You can always come to me for any kind of questions or consultation. Okay. So I do no obligation consultation and no worries. These are all it's a part of the community awareness knowledge which I'm giving it. You can execute by yourself if you want to okay, right. Having said this one, I wanted to move on to the my presentation here, okay. So now they're talking about the Roth here. Okay, so Roth comes so there is a little bit of
Ravi sir, quick thing.
Sure.
Maybe if you can please slow down if possible. Yeah. Slightly
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, a second I was saying I'll try.
Okay.
Right, okay. So when it comes to the Roth, okay, people have heard about the backdoor Roth, people have heard about the mega Roth. These are the two main components which you are saying, correct? Okay, so backdoor again, it's not, the name sounds familiar, it's all a known thing, but people have repeatedly saying it looks like a complex. How do I do it? Okay, I'm eligible. It is a very simple thing. Everyone is eligible for the backdoor Roth. No income limit. Backdoor Roth comes. Okay, simple, put it that way. The explanation, we'll take it like an offline whenever like you want. It's very simple. Second thing is Megarath. Megarath is the one which has to be supported by your employer. These days, in Silicon Valley, almost 90% of the company, all the big companies are supporting Megarath. This was not the case like 10 years back. This is like, because for the employer, there's a big cost. That's one of the reasons, like, they were not doing it. Okay. But now almost every single company is offering the mega backdoor Roth. And some other company, even if they're not doing it, I tell my clients, like, go and talk to HR. They can do it. I have made company do this one because legally they're supposed to do it, but they might push back. They'll say it's not our policy. We don't have it. Okay, they cannot say that one. Okay, so I worked with some other even companies where they did enable. After talking to them. Okay, now mega backdoor Roth. Mega Roth again. We talk about this is top in addition to the backdoor Roth. Okay, so now we talked about we'll divide this into the 3 different buckets. Okay, the first one is the 401k, which is a pre-tax. The second one is IRA, which is an individual retirement plan, or backdoor. Put it in. Sorry.
Very quick suggestions. Some of the members may be new to the Roth aspect of the 401k. Maybe if you could explain what is Roth, what is non-Roth, that will actually help them to understand and take the flow. Just a quick wording.
Sure. Okay. So 401k, I think everyone knows. I don't think anyone will be lagging in that one. It's a pre-tax contribution through your employer. You did. There's a 23,500 last year, and this year is a new limit. Okay. So that I would always recommend max out. When I say max out, whatever the maximum limit you are available, please try to use that one, except if you have a different commitments, family commitments, everything then you can little alter. But otherwise, give highest priority to the 401k. That's the first bucket you're doing it. Now the second bucket of your retirement, it's called IRA. That is, in addition to 401k, you can do IRA. Okay. So in 401k, as you all know, you do your contribution and then some employer to the employer match, right? Both comes. In the IRA, only your contribution. IRA stands for in addition to that, they say government say you can also contribute it, but IRA has a income phase, or not everyone can contribute IRA. After certain income, you cannot do that one. But in the same IRA, you can put a post-tax money. Will be too technical, but see, just remember this one. You can put a post-tax money, and you can convert that to a Roth. That's called the backdoor Roth. Okay, that's why they call it now. With that, we'll stop it if you get more detail, it will be a little confusing. Okay, so 401k is a tax deferred, which has an employee and employer contribution. There is some amount. Example, I'm saying 23,500 you contributed. Your employer put 6,500. Now that becomes 30,000 is what your contribution in 401k bucket. One bucket is done. Now, second one, IRA. Where the income phase out, most of us, it's a good news, earning money is also good, it's good news. People are way above the threshold, most of my clients are above $500,000, and there are 5 to 6% are 250k, 250 to 500k, which means most of the 99% are not eligible for this, the IRA contribution. But you can still use an IRA bucket to contribute the post-tax money and then get the backdoor into that. Okay. So again, it's all retirement. That's all. Pre-tax is the post-tax. That's the second bucket you're being. You're filling yourself. Now the third one is called the mega Roth. The mega Roth is in addition now 30,000. The first bucket we already covered. 7,000 second bucket, that is also we covered 37,000. Now you have to 70,000 is the max bucket each year you can do it. So which leaves a gap of close to, I would say some 33,000. Just an example I'm saying okay, not necessarily exact. That 33,000 is what you can consider for the mega Roth. Only condition is your employer should support that. If you're a self-employed, it's completely again the same formula, but the structure is different. The process is same, exactly the same one. You can do the same thing for the self-employed. Okay, the terms are different. You call it as a SEP IRA, you call it a solo 401k. Leave out all those things. Okay, those who are self-employed, they're also very much aware of this one. Okay, right? Now, majority are having a W2 in addition to the matter of the business. So if you understand the personal one, business is an extension of that. Okay, right? Now the first 3 buckets you say okay, pre-tax 401k, employer, IRA 7k. Your contribution. The third one is a mega. Okay, now these 3 put together, if you are even closing, you are maxing out close to that the bucket, you are completely covered on your retirement planning. Trust me, within 7-8 years, you will reach. Even if you start now, you can reach to 1 million. if you follow this discipline, if you follow like strictly like this, okay. So I'll also like I also want like share a few real-time life experience like right. So until last year, like most of the clients use, hey, how do I contribute to my pre-tax, post-tax, which is like 401k, which is like the Roth. Okay, so my suggestion is always you balance it, put both. Okay, this is what. But the last year, for the first time, like set up people from the Google. I'm not naming any people, like set up people all like high level, like D's and B's level, like okay. So they come to say, you know what, I maxed out. I already have like close like few mils in my retirement account. Now, can I just contribute only the mega Roth? I said, like, that's a sweet deal. If you want to do it, like, the best way to do it. My recommendation is balance. But you already have a 401k, which is the pre-tax money to the now even above 1 million, you're fine. That's all you need. After that, all money should go tax-free. That's a more important thing. Please go for it, like, okay. Everyone almost like contribute the full 70k into the back door. Okay, right? Not even like a single penny in the pre-tax money. So the way I'm saying, like, you can also get there when you reach that stage. You can get that. Okay, I'll guide you through the process. Like, okay, so having said this one now, whatever I covered here, like the post-tax one part here, if you see here, I covered the Roth, backdoor Roth, mega Roth, and all this like covered. Now, what else like on the post-tax part like has come? 529 and life insurance product like is there. Again, I'm not a big fan of 529. I know everyone talks about it. Everyone wants like do it. So if you're doing it, please no issues and I did. But please remember, 529 has got like certain cons like which is it's a low return. Number one, and number two, it's a state-owned fund, as you all know, like because the limited investment opportunities. And the number three is like it has got like not directly, indirectly, it has got some limitations on your scholarship. Okay, it's again like myth like people say yes you can get a scholarship, no you can't get a scholarship, but then indirectly how it is driven is like the moment you have a 529 plan for the kids, like majority of the scholarship like are getting denied. Okay, right? So this is a life experience like what we have seen like so because of that, like I know most of the client kids are like smart kids, like if they are eligible, like you don't want to have this as a like that's one of the reason like I don't recommend 529. Okay, now if you don't recommend 529, then what else like you can do it? There are a lot of like insurance product which gives the same tax-free growth, which gives a better growth, which gives a better flexibility, right? I don't sell my insurance product, and I'm not an experienced person, but I have in our own team, like Mr. Govind is there. I always like refer him. So he does a wonderful job. You can, if any one of you need, like take his help on that, right? Now, having said this one, like on a 529, if you still prefer to contribute, if you still think like hey, I already started, I want to like do it, please like consider like these two things. You can contribute up up to 19,000 per parent, okay, per kid. Also, you can front upload 5 years if at all you want to do it. Even after all, whatever I say, like okay. So you can front upload like 5 years. So that is just like total 5 years you can do it, which means all the growth like grows faster than what is the annual contribution, right? So that's how the 529 plan works. Right. With that being said, like okay, I covered like the pre-tax and post-tax, like so now that covers like the part of the wealth, the part of the savings. Okay. Now I called it like in 529, as I said, like a lot of people talk about the 529. That's the only main reason, like I kind of like called it out separately. We did talk about it in detail. Okay. Now I want to differentiate like in a pre-tax, post-tax with respect to inheritance. I'm going to cover inheritance in detail, down the road, but then like down these slides, like okay. But I at the high level, if I just like link inheritance into this pre-tax and post-tax is very important. All my strategy, like I say, is like you grow your money as a tax-free, and then you give it to your kids as a tax-free. That's what very important, right? How do you do this? Like to grow your money as a tax-free, first like you have to defer it. Then you plan it in a way like free. Then it goes as a tax-free to the kids. Like okay. Now in this case, if you see like pre-tax money 401k, it is still taxable to your kids, even if it goes. We all get to see the angel at some point, like if it happens, like then all these things are going to go to the kids. Like when it goes like pre-tax is still taxable, post-tax is not taxable, subject to some small rule. Like that is all fine. Leave about all those like 5-year, 10-year rule and all. Okay. So, but the important point, the Roth, how powerful it is. Correct. And also like retirement account is the one I want to say. We all know like okay. In the event of any unforeseen things, like bankruptcy court can discharge any liability except IRS liability. Now, when it comes to the IRS, they can touch any of your fund except your retirement funds. Again, it's a kind of like it's not a clearly defined thing. IRS also, hey, I can access any funds, but in my experience, I have gone through some of my clients through this situation where their money is protected. So given my, the real life experience, I have seen that they are on a very safe zone. Okay, having said that one, this is the money which is even protected against the IRS. So how powerful it is. So let's say it's not like an unfortunate thing is going to happen, but let's say in the event it is how highly it's protected. That's why I initially said it's a high protection and a generation wealth when it comes to the post-tax Roth contribution. Okay, now moving on to the next one, and just an example, I put it here. We'll do the example again. Already I think covered some of the the examples earlier. Now we'll move on to the next category. Okay, high income tax planning strategy. Okay, the definition of high income, please don't get there. Even if you have $500,000 at the high income, so you are at the close 45 to 46% bracket. As you all know, the moment you hit the 250K, you are the 35% federal, and then state is 8-9%, right? So put together that will be 46%. You will be there overall, including other taxes. Okay, there's a Medicare tax, there's a NIT, net investment tax above $1 million. Having said this one, high income even at the 500K above, it is very important to start planning on your the tax. Okay, so these are the key things. I've listed out all these available major options. But not necessarily everything I suggest, I recommend. I recommend only whatever I highlighted in the green color here. Okay. Having said this one, the first one, the oil and gas. Repeatedly, time and again, I've seen people have been talking about it. Many of my even new clients are falling into this trap. This is a scam. Oil and gas investment, anyone talks about please remember it is a scam. I've not seen anyone making money out of it. But why people are still falling for it? It is a government-sponsored scam. Government wants the oil and wants to be repeatedly come into the market, so they promote that one, but people have been losing money without not knowing anything. Okay, so having said that one, then what else it's now in a better one. Next one, if you go mineral and royalty rights, I don't even recommend. It's an auditable area. Many people got into the audit. Okay, some of the people who invested on this one 2018, they came to me last year, said their audit got final. Audit started in 2020, and then audit got finalized in 2025. They ended up paying 3 times of what they were supposed to pay. It's a nightmare. And also last 4 or 5 years, they have had a sleepless nights because the file was not audited to an individual. The file was audited to the company which issued those K1. But then eventually, the file got closed after 5 years once when the company audit get closed. Until then, the individual files also were on the loop, right? So because of that, people had sleepless nights and then all the things. So I don't even recommend. Why? Never do any investment just for the tax savings. You can do the investment in all aspects of your capital preservation, your return on investment, and the tax benefits. Okay. Having said this one, the short-term rental is my sweet spot. I'll explain you with one example. Probably that will be a little easy to understand. So there is something called bonus depreciation. Again, the bonus depreciation, as the name itself says, it's a depreciation you can climb in lump sum in 1 year. It's a sweet deal which the current government has given from last year. It's a gold mine, I would say, for the next 3 years. It's going to be only 4 years. Trust me, for sure, after this government, they'll take it away. I'm saying for the last 27 years. It is not at all available in all the governments. Only Mr. Trump had given the previous tenure, and then again and now the current tenure. Okay, then it'll be phase out will start. Okay, right. Having said this one, what is this how does this benefit in the short-term rental is better? Okay, let's take an example an $500,000 property. You buy an $500,000 property, group of people. Let's say 3 members together. It's an Airbnb property. How we manage Airbnb, let's not get there. It's very easy. There are many ways to that I will guide it through. You buy a $500,000, the property. So how much a down payment? Approximately 30-35%. Let's say, for example, 30% is a down payment you make, which is 150,000 is a down payment, which goes out of your packet. So remaining 350 is a loan. Now 150 is what you invest. 350 is a loan. Now the property is in your name. Right? Now, when it comes to the taxation, here, I divide 3 parts into the taxation. One is the tax benefit. The second is return on investment. The third is your capital preservation plus appreciation on that investment. Very important, right? Capital preservation and appreciation. So what's the tax benefit? Now on this property 500K, if you invest, any property you invested on or after Jan 19th of 2025, which is last year, you are eligible for the bonus depreciation. That's a definition, right? Any property, not the rental property I'm taking, any property. Okay, they're given some guidelines on it. So in this case, rental property is much eligible. There's a middle participation. That's all a smaller thing. Like, let's not get into the details, okay? So you buy a property. Now, the final worth of the property is divided into 3 components. The top component is the land, which is non-depreciable, which industry standard 15%. The second component is the building, which is 65% industry standard, which is depreciable for 27.5 years. The third component is the improvement. Other than your land and building is called the improvements. Very simple, right? So 20% is what eligible for the bonus depreciation. Now on this like 500 property, 20% is 100,000, right? 20% of 500,000 is 100,000. So 100,000 is you are eligible for the bonus depreciation in the same year. So what is that I'm going to like, with the eligibility bonus depreciation, like, what do I do with it? Okay. This bonus depreciation, when it's eligible, it offsets directly your W2 income / portfolio income. Only 2 types of income you don't have, W2 or a portfolio income. W2 is a known, portfolio is nothing but your brokerage, your interest, and all these things like, it's a brokerage, the portfolio income, right? So it offsets directly all these like an income. What a sweet deal, like, okay, it's more important. If you're at the like a 500 ticket bracket, 100K is knocked down. Now you're paying tax on 400K. And now the second thing, like, okay, so I got the tax benefit, okay, then what else, like, okay, right? Now the second thing, like, I say return on investment. The property, usually like rental property, either you break even or you make the ROI. Very rare, you lose the money, okay, right? Now, having said this one, the return on investments, like, if it's a break even also, still it's a good deal. How I say, like, okay, right? Now this property down the road 5 years, on an average 5% improvement, 5% increase, sorry, the appreciation, okay? On a compound basis, 30%. 30% of 500,000 is 150,000 additional. You already put 150,000, which is the equity, which is sitting there. Now 150,000 is an appreciation. Correct? So now your capital is already there. 150,000 appreciation is also there. On the capital, you also got the tax benefit, right? The tax benefit is nothing but on the I said like 100,000 is what your bonus depreciation. On the bonus depreciation, you get to write off your W2 income, right? So if you're going to write off, straight up like 50,000 is what the tax benefit you get it. Some of you feel like too technical, it's a tax benefit, 50,000 you get, your capital is preserved, your appreciation is there. Now put together like this is how much is the return. It's a huge return you get, like right? Very easy, like an easy calculation, like from 150 to 150 again, like okay, you have another like 50K, that's close like 350K. Even given all this, like what scenario, like say market recession comes, something happens, like even if 20% goes down, also still you are sitting at like close to like 2.4x of like returns. Okay, so that is a sweet deal I'm saying, like so any investment, like when you do it, like you want to make sure your capital is preserved. Now having said this one, the same thing if you put it on the oil and gas, you invest 100, same 150,000 invest on the oil and gas. Now do you get this money back? No, you never get this money back. It's like that very well comedy kind of account, that's it, like so you lost all the money, that's all, it's over. Then you get only the dividend. So what do you do with the dividend? Like, so you have to report again the dividend as an income. You have to pay tax on that, like, dividend. Okay, right? Now, having said this one, where there is not a capital, the preservation, I don't even recommend that investments. Like, so your investment should be mostly on the capital preservation. Your investment should get you some appreciation. So short-term rental is the reason I'm focusing on this one is like, right now, this is the most important, the highest tax benefit, like, which you can get it for high income day. Now, next one, moving on, like, this conservation, it's all available, but I don't recommend, not a big deal, like, it's all, loser, tax saving strategy, but I listed because, you need to know these are all available, okay, now. Solar renewal only last few years, like, it is available in the market, like, I don't have any project to even recommend, if at all you come across, I can help your due diligence and tell you, like, whether you can invest or not, but that is also one of the things which you can consider. Following that, QOZ, quality opportunity zone, people might have heard about it, especially when it comes to the capital gain. People last year, it's a good news. Always I tell the people, if you make a money, it's a good news. People stress out, don't stress out. It's a good news, but it's just like how you plan it, how you save it, and it's what more important. So when it comes to the capital gain, like quality opportunity zone is one of the things people consider. But again, very high level, I leave it like okay, details we'll get to that in a one-on-one. Following that, like CRT, CLT, DFE, DAF, all are charitable part of the tax saving. I don't recommend anybody. Only 2 of my clients are like I've recommended DAF. There are like 10 plus like clients like I've been doing it, okay, right? So again, this is not applicable for like majority people. In a simple way, if I say this is just like for information, we all heard about like okay, Buffett has donated 65% asset to charity. Bill Gates has donated 60% asset. We all like heard about even India, like okay, if you see, like, they have now donated, they parked that money. It is one of the, the tax saving vehicle, they park the money and then they can use it. It's called the foundation. Okay. Let's not get into the details, but again, like, just to let you know, like, these are all available. You might see, like, is it something like, I can easily use it. I don't even recommend. DAF is the one other thing, like, those who truly, wanted to do some donations every year in a sequential, basis, then they can consider DAF for a smaller, the portion of the people. Okay. Otherwise, I don't even recommend anything. For a small gift, like, if you're just doing it, like, okay, a few thousand, you do it, without that, you still get the same benefit. DA is like, only if you have a very high income, and if you want, like, put together some 50K into the bucket and then start doing it, like, then the DF comes into the picture. Okay. Because the compliance is a little stringent out there. Now, with that being said, like, I'll go to the last one, the REP. I don't know how many, real estate professional in this group. REP is again, like, it's a real estate professional stands for it. It is basically beneficial for those who are real estate people, or even some people, those non-real estate people also try to get this, the benefit claiming, like, if one of the spouse is not employed, they can, go for the status. But please remember, this is 50% area, audit area. So I don't recommend unless people have a clear log file and everything. Okay. So leaving that, well, I'll just, like, summarize on this high income, tax planning. Short-term rental is the most sweet deal right now on the plate in the next, for like few years. Most of the people, like, I can consider, because it's a real estate investment come tax benefit, like, together, it's a sweet spot. Solar is the next one, like, if at all you come across friends and families, like, you can, do that one, right? Okay. So having said this one, I wanted to say one analogy here, like, which I always, share it with my, many people here. So wealthy people versus, like, common people like us, like, how we run our financial management, right? So now that I covered, like, wealth management, pre-tax, post-tax I covered, high income tax I covered, like, so how, the wealthy people manage their funds versus, like, how we manage. Okay. There are only, like, 4 cards available for both the teams. Both the set of people, like, only 4 cards. There is nothing like a new here. There's no magic. So how they do is, like, they earn money. The next one is they spend money. The next one is they save money. Then the last one, they pay tax. Okay, it's very simple, right? So they earn money, they spend money, then they save money, then they pay tax. Okay, this is what, like, they've been doing for years and years and years. Okay, now when we come to us, common people like us, we earn money, the same thing, but we pay tax immediately. Next we spend, next we save. See, the sequence has changed here, right? Is it hard to, like, follow this sequence? It's very easy. It's just that we have to, like, do it. So having said this one, how is it possible? How is it possible to spend money before paying tax? How is it possible to save before you do it? Okay, now having said this one, we all know, like, I'll take a live example of, our president. How many company he has? Like, we all know it's uncountable, right? He has, like, so many companies, and he's a full-time employee of government of USA, but still he has company. So which means that gives a live example. Anyone who is employed can have an entity here, can have a company here. Nothing stops. Mr. Trump, like, he spent $7,500 on his haircut. It's official. You can go and Google it, and he claims that as expenses. Is he evading tax? Is he avoiding tax? No, it's a legal expenses. Okay, so we have to do it in a way, like, how we plan it is through these structures, right? So I tell all the people, like, in this country, when you're here, like, 2 things is must. One is you should have an entity. The second is you should have a living trust. Without this, do not have any, the lifestyle being running. Okay, so it's the most important thing. So we all know, like, the second part, like, living trust, like, we all know this one, but it just keep delaying. It's a very costly, process when in the event of any unfortunate thing like that. So it is a must, like, and is it difficult? No, it is not at all. You go to Mr. Govind Gopal. He is a licensed professional. Like, he does it for such a low cost, unbelievable service. Right? It's just, like, I'm saying based on my experience. I'm not, promoting. I'm saying, like, but my experience, I'm sharing it with you. He does a phenomenal job, right? Okay. So person like him, even if you find somebody else, go to that person, people, make use of that for just, like, couple of $100, like, he takes away everything, right? So these 2 things are very important. Having said this one, the entity formation is the most important thing for your tax saving thing. Okay, people ask me, like, hey, no, I don't come from a business background. I don't even know how to do business. Like, don't worry. Okay, I have seen repeatedly people who said that one and to start making money on the business. Because once we have a corporation, then you start floating yourself in the market for the side income or side extra gain. Like it's very common, right? Okay. So then they start the habituated. So now how we spend money, your post-tax money becomes a pre-tax money now. Now the second thing is the saving. How do I save the taxes? That is where the example which I say, like I just correlate one example. There are many things as a short-term rental. Now what happened? You invested in the property, you did got the bonus depreciation. Now you save that money. Straight up you save that money, right? So this is what repeatedly, like people do. I'll throw in another example, like okay, right now.
Ravi sir, quick time check. It's now 7:12. Yeah.
Okay. How much more time? We already past
I think the members might have more questions. Probably we can quickly cover remaining slides in case if you have any. Then we'll open for the Q&As. So
sure.
Yeah.
Let me then quickly cover the next 2 sets of the slides, okay, right? Okay. So yeah. I'll just do one more example. Then I'll move on to the next 2 sets of that should be a faster one. These are the main one. Whatever so far I covered, remaining all more of just a quick information only. So this is very important. Another example, which I want to share it with you, right? Okay. Let's say you buy a property for 1 million now. Okay. So after let's say after 40 years, that property becomes 12 million, right? So now the 12 million property, we all, get to give it our, kids at some point in time, when we get to see the age of, life, right? So now the 12 million goes to the kids. So what do they pay the tax? They pay zero tax because now their cost becomes 12 million. It's called step-up basis. Please mark this word, step-up basis, okay? Now the 1 million property cost becomes 12 million to the kids. They pay zero tax on it. So now we defer the tax, capital gain tax, and then we give it to the next generation as a tax free. So more important. Now in this one, hey, who's going to keep property for 40 years? I might sell this property for 4 or 5 years, and then I want to keep on. Yes, perfectly fine. You can do that one because you'll find another opportunity. I have not seen any single, our community people coming to me, I'm selling, but for my expenses. No, they sell it for the investment repeatedly. Okay. Now having said this one, if you sell it also, again, there is a strategy which kicks in where you defer the tax, you reinvest on it. You don't pay any capital gain tax. It keeps going on and on until it goes to the next generation. This is what the wealthy people they do. And when I say save taxes, okay? So it's more important to consider the inheritance. With that being said, I'll move to the next one. This is again the gift and inheritance, which is just covered. It's both one is during life, the other one is after the life, okay? Up to 13.6 million per parent per kid is exempted, which means around 27 million you can give it to your kids as a tax-free inheritance wealth. Very important. That's more than sufficient for one kid to give it, okay? But it's just we have to plan it in a way. I've seen repeatedly many people coming, triggering tax, paying tax, then giving the money to the family. Never do that one. It's very easy to not complex. Now next one, it's just a continuity, how the tax works. About 27 million, what is taxable is what you're talking here. Now different. This is a definition. We'll leave it. This is for a detailed session, which I have it. Okay. And then this is the third set of the life protection. I don't sell any insurance product. Okay, but my son always tells me okay, so insurance is a scam. Yes, I agree, it is a scam, but I'm part of the scam. I have insurance. I have for my own family, my kids, my family, I have it, okay? Because some 8-10 years, I was questioning myself, hey, I'm running around doing so many business, so, how do I protect? Of course, the wealth is there, but then there's a life protection, right? So I did take insurance for my kids, my family, everything, okay, right? So I strongly recommend to have some kind of insurance, even if your employer has it, personal insurance. When you did earlier, it's a lot easier and it's a very, very low cost, okay? Next one, asset protection. This is where the living trust comes into the picture. Again, both insurance product and the this asset product. I don't do it. It's our legal work. There are set of people are available. As I said, Mr. Govind is one of our community member who does both the services. You can check with him or at your convenience. Whoever you think, you can feel free to go for it. Okay. So the next one. Sorry. So this is how do we manage the asset protection? A lot of people are myth okay, so when I say the living trust, then I have to maintain, I keep adding, deleting assets. It's all very easy. Some are beneficiary, some are you just need to update your schedule A in the living trust. Very, very easy. I just give an example here. So we can, if you need offline, I can explain it furthermore. Okay. So all these things all
Sorry, sir.
I like it. Let him talk. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Right. I'll continue. So all these things we talked about is for this one. This is what the more, I'm sorry. This is what, like, so all the things, like, whatever your talks about, like, it's for the loved ones. We want to make sure, like, our money goes as a tax deferred and tax free, and then, it's built with the safety and the protection. Okay. So that's the most, last slide. I'll just, like, this is the information. Most of you might know, like, this one, how this billion, like, what tax rate they pay. You can see, like, each one of them pay like 0.1%, 1.1%. It's a true tax rate, right? This is what the definition of the true tax rate is. So basically, it's against the whatever the wealth growth. So, like, 0.1%, the highest one is like 10.7%. Bill Gates. What a sweet thing, like, so everybody can do it. This is a simple deal, not a complex thing, right? So now, having said this one, we also get into this one, like, if not like billions, like, at least, like, a few millions, we can start up with it. It's an easy job to, like, do it. With that being said, like, I wanted to thank again for the Bay Area Tamil Mandram and the committees patiently, listening to, this. The speech for last, like, almost 45 minutes. Thank all the audience. With that, I'll leave it to Mr. Aris for the Q&A session. Yeah.
Thank you, Ravi sir. Thank you so much. Maybe you can stop sharing. I know you have shared a lot of valuable insight and practical guidance with us today. I'm sure there will be a lot of questions from the members. Please be patient, members. Please be patient. We will have like a couple of minutes to talk about important information. Then we will open the Q&A session. You can raise your hand and we will let you talk, but give us a couple of minutes. So thank you so much, sir, for covering like various strategies like high income, life protection, asset and inheritance, a lot of information. And also you showed us like a live calculator to become a millionaire. I hope I'll get like, I'll become a millionaire sooner. Yeah. So let me quickly share my screen. Okay. You all can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can see. Yeah.
Cool. So those who are asking for Ravi sir contact information, this will be displayed throughout the Q&A session, so you can capture this information. But before that, so we would like to also encourage all of you to become a Bay Area Tamil Mandram member, lifetime member. So I would request Mr. Govind sir and then Rajesh would like to talk about what are the benefits we can get by becoming members and what we want to do. Rajesh,
Sure. வணக்கம் எல்லாருக்கும். நான் ராஜேஷ்ங்க. ஏன்னா சில பேர் லேட்டா ஜாயின் பண்ணனால குயிக் அப்டேட். மெயினா வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஏன் தமிழ் மன்றம் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், உங்களோட அடுத்த தலைமுறைக்கு வந்து தமிழை கொண்டு போகணும். அதுக்கு நீங்க வந்து தமிழ் பள்ளிக்கெல்லாம் போகலாம். யூ கேன் லேர்ன் தமிழ் ஸ்கூல்ஸ் என்றால். பட் அதையும் தாண்டி ஒரு கலாச்சாரம் சார்ந்து நிறைய நிகழ்வுகள் நடக்கும். பிளஸ் உங்களுக்கும் பாத்தீங்கன்னா நிறைய வந்து கம்யூனிட்டி சர்வீஸ் பிளஸ் இன்ஃபர்மேட்டிவ் செஷன்ஸ் நிறைய வந்து நாங்க பண்ணுவோம். அது உங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும். இனிஷியலா வந்து சொன்ன மாதிரி இது டாக்ஸேஷன் மட்டும் இல்லாம நிறைய வந்து ஏஐ ரிலேட்டட் ஒரு ஒர்க் ஷாப்ஸ் உங்களோட டெக்னிக்கல் ஸ்கில்ஸுக்காகவும் இருக்கும். அதே மாதிரி வந்து கம்யூனிட்டி சர்வீஸ்க்காகவும் நிறைய வந்து நம்ம பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்கிறோம். அதோட இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் உங்களுக்கு உடனுக்குடன் வரும். ஓகேங்களா? இப்போ வந்து நீங்க மெம்பரா இருந்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு இந்த எங்களோட கம்யூனிட்டி வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப் இருக்கு, அதில் வந்து உங்களுக்கு இமீடியட்டா கிடைக்கும். இல்லைன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், நீங்க வந்து பாக்குறப்ப அந்த ஈவென்ட் முடிஞ்சு கூட இருக்கலாம். ஓகேங்களா? யூ மைட் மிஸ் ஆல்சோ. அதனாலதான் வந்து we are trying to become a member. மெம்பர்ஷிப்பும் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஆல்ரெடி உங்களுக்கு அந்த வெப்சைட்லயே இருக்கும். $100 லைஃப் டைம் மெம்பர். உங்க லைஃப் டைம் ஃபுல்லா $100 தான். இட்ஸ் ஒர்த் இட். நாங்க வந்து மெயினா இது இல்லாம பாத்தீங்கன்னா இஃப் யூ ஆர் மெம்பர், நான் மெம்பர்ஸ்க்கு நம்ம பண்ணதான் போறோம். எனி எமர்ஜென்சி ஹெல்ப் இஸ் தேர். ஓகேங்களா? ஒரு பாஸ்போர்ட் இஷ்யூஸ் அதே எமர்ஜென்சி விசா வி நீட். லாஸ்ட் 2 daysல வந்து வி ஹெல்ப் டு எமர்ஜென்சி ரிலேட்டட் ஒர்க். ஓகேங்களா? ஒரு இந்தியாவுக்கு போறன்றப்ப எமர்ஜென்சி விசா வேணும்னு, ஸோ அதுக்கெல்லாம் உடனே ஹெல்ப் பண்ண முடியுது. Didn't ask you a member or not, but we'll request everyone to become a member so that you can spread across the news to everyone. That's what our main motto. ஓகேங்களா? ஸோ இது மாதிரி வந்து தமிழ் கம்யூனிட்டிக்கு we are going to help and service we are going to do. ஓகேங்களா? இங்க இருக்க 7 பேருமே எக்ஸிக்யூட்டிவ் எல்லாருமே we are just doing a volunteering work. ஓகேங்களா? everyone have a professional work is there, so family is there. Apart from that, we're just trying to help the community. We're spending extra time, family time இல்லாம extra time we are putting and we are serving the community. So அதனால just become a member so that we can able to help, and even we need to grow more fund also because we are a Tamil Mandram non-profit organization, right? So உங்கள மாதிரி வந்து members ஆகுறது, அதே மாதிரி sponsors help, like Ravi is one of our sponsors for Tamil Mandram. So because of that we are able to run it. So that's why we are strongly recommend member ஆகுங்க, help the community and help Tamil Mandram too. ஓகேங்களா? That's what. உங்களால தான் வந்து இந்த தமிழ் மன்றமும் ரன் ஆகுது. We are all pillars for the Tamil Mandram. That's it. எங்களோட ஹானரி மெம்பர் லாஸ்ட் இயர் 2025 தலைவர் கோவிந்த் கோபால். Add few more words. ஏன்னா எங்களோட வந்து knowledgeable person. He was serving for a long time and he was there past executive 3 times in different positionல, and he's guiding us for a lot of information. எங்களோட always we honor member, honor him. So Govind, anything add? என்ன நான் மிஸ் பண்ணிருக்கலாம், so help us.
Yeah, you covered everything. என்ன சாரி, என்னால வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ண முடியல. So Tamil Mandrathula, there are 4 pillars. Usually I say there are 4 pillars of Tamil Mandram. Here we have 3 pillars in this meeting. One is sponsorship, second is membership, third is the EC. So all 3 pillars are here. The fourth one is a bylaw. So as per the bylaw only, we are conducting all these events and a lot of activities, everything, operational thing, administration, everything is under bylaw. So these 4 pillars. So as a member, you all supported this event. As a sponsor, Ravi gave valuable information today, and EC 2026 conducted very well. Thanks to Aristotle and everyone conducted this event. So yeah, we need more members, more sponsors. So yeah, you covered rightly, Rajesh. Thank you.
Thank you, Govind. Over to Aristotle. நீங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
Okay, thank you Rajesh, and thank you Govind. Yeah, actually like they covered everything, and also we also talked about all these benefits at the starting of the discussion. So let me also we would like to talk about the upcoming event so that it will be beneficial for all the members and whoever joined here, right? So I would like to invite Sarita and Varadhu and Vimalata for this one. Yeah.
வணக்கம்ங்க. நான் கலை மற்றும் பண்பாட்டு துணைத் தலைவர் சரிதா அண்ணாதுரை. டைம் கருதி நான் குயிக்காக வந்து போயிடுறேன். ஸோ அடுத்ததாக வந்து உமன்ஸ் டே இருக்குது. பிறகு வந்து வெல்த் ஈவெண்ட் சித்திரை திருவிழா இருக்குது. நான் உமன்ஸ் டேவும் சித்திரை திருவிழாவை மட்டும் குயிக்காக வந்து சொல்லிடுறேன். ஸோ உமன்ஸ் டே வந்து உமன்ஸ் இது வரைக்கும் வந்து யாரெல்லாம் வந்து ரொம்ப சிறப்பாக நம்மளுக்கு வந்து ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளாக இருக்கிறாங்களோ அவங்கக்கிட்டலாம் நம்மளுக்கு பேசுகிறதுக்கும் அவங்க கூட வந்து கொஞ்சம் நேரம் டைம் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணி அவங்களோட ஐடியாஸை வந்து எடுத்துக்கிறதுக்கான ஒரு நல்ல வாய்ப்பு நம்மளோட தமிழ் மக்களோட சேர்ந்து. பிறகு சித்திரை திருவிழா இருக்குது. சித்திரை திருவிழாவில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வாழை இலை விருந்தும் இருக்குது. ப்ளஸ் அதோடு சேர்ந்து நம்ம வந்து சித்திரை திருவிழாவை வந்து கொண்டாட இருக்கோம். எல்லாரும் நம்மளோட கம்யூனிட்டி ஈவெண்ட்டில் வந்து ஜாயின் பண்ணி எல்லாருமே வந்து ஒன்றா சேர்ந்து செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணலாம். எல்லாருமா சேர்ந்து பயனுறுங்க. நன்றிங்க. அடுத்ததான் வந்துட்டு வெல்த் ஈவெண்ட்டை வந்து பற்றி பேசுறதுக்காக நான் விமலதாவை கூப்பிடுறேன்.
Thank you, Sarita. So hello everyone once again. On March 21st நாங்க வந்து ஒரு ஹெல்த் அண்ட் வெல்னஸ் ஃபேரை ப்ரொமோட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோங்க. We would be happy if everybody is able to join the event and take advantage of all the topics that we are going to discuss. அங்க வந்து நம்மளுக்கு ஃப்ரீ BMI and blood pressure test எடுப்பாங்க. அப்புறம் நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு CPR ட்ரைனிங்கும் அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறோம். Please try to participate and try to make as much as use as possible. We are trying to rope in a couple of doctors who would be speaking to you about the health benefits and also some kind of nutritional advice they could provide. Please avail the talk and all the arrangements that we are making, and it will be beneficial for you. Thank you for listening to us and spending your evening with us. Thanks a lot.
Thanks Vimalata.
அடுத்ததாக வரது வந்து மற்ற ஈவெண்ட் வந்து கவர் பண்ணிட்டோங்க அரிஸ்டாட்டில்.
Okay.
ஸோ அந்த ஸ்லைட் போனீங்கன்னா வரது.
Yeah, thank you for covering. Yeah, really, we are proud to. Hello, everyone.
It's clear, Varadhu.
Yeah, so we are happy to serve community in terms of getting all of you getting good benefits. And speaking of further events, there are many events lined up every month events. But I'm going to talk about very key events. We used to conduct every year. Last 2 years, it was like a successful event. That is one like a marathon. That we call it as a TVNO. Somebody may hear say TV no. It's because உட்காந்து டிவி பார்க்கறது இல்லை, அப்படிதான் நான் ரீட் பண்ணேன். பட் டிவி தமிழ் வெற்றி நடை ஓடு TVNO Yes, we usually conduct in May month, but during the May month, it's actually a school annual exams and the மாதிரிலாம் இருக்கிறதுனால this year we are planning to conduct in September a time frame, and that's going to be like a huge crowd who are fitness oriented, health oriented. There's from small age to the big age. It's younger to the elder. Everyone can participate. It starts from walk 1 mile or 2 miles walk or 4 miles walk to all the way to half marathon. Walk பண்ணலாம், ஓடலாம், அந்த மாதிரி we are conducting. And mainly any event Tamil Mandram is conducting, it is a non-profit oriented. Such a big events we're going to conduct in a big community park, I think in Sunnyvale. That needs a lot of support in terms of money, and we are looking for more sponsors. So where that we'll be printing the t-shirts. Some of you may be a small business owner or who want to be like looking for advertisement. We wanted to engage with you, collecting some of the small fund, whatever is possible. We will be making advertisement for sponsorship from you, and then we would conduct it. That's one. Yeah. Mainly on that one. And we also, Tamil Mandram is a 45-year-old organization where we are actually having doing a fundraising for Tamil Cultural Center. That we are going to planning to construct in our Brentwood Tamil land. Yeah, we are looking for any support which is possible. Some of you may even look for a trust fund for a tax saving. You can plan to contribute this year onwards for Tamil Mandram Cultural Center. So we have a GoFund page. So we eventually share the GoFund page, and you can approach us for donating something like that. That's something I covered on 2 areas. Thank you, and leave it to Aristotle for remaining, or I can continue.
இல்ல சின்ன 2 ஈவென்ட் குயிக்கா சொல்லிடுறேன். டைம் நிறைய போயிட்டு இருக்கு, ஸோ அதனால குயிக்காவே போயிடுறேன். There is a super singer event we are planning. It's a coming month, and even volleyball and throwball is there on 4th April 11th. So already we are planning. So உங்களுக்கு ஃப்ளையர்ஸ் அண்ட் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்லாம் எல்லா ஈவெண்ட்டுக்கும் சூனாக வருங்க. ஸோ கெட் மெம்பர் ஆனீங்கன்னா இதெல்லாம் உங்கள் இமெயிலே வரும். ட்ரை டு பிகம் அ மெம்பர் அண்ட் கெட்டுங்க. I don't want to take delay because a lot of people have a questionnaire and they have a chatting also is there. Arshad, over to you. Quick up, and we have another 30 minutes to plan to have a question session.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajat. Thanks everyone. Yeah, I'll stop sharing now. So, okay.
Arshad, நம்ம கொஸ்டின் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆடியன்ஸ் வந்து ஹேண்ட் ரைஸ் பண்ண சொல்லுவோம். அந்த ஆர்டர்ல வந்து நம்ம கொஸ்டின் கேட்க ஆரம்பிக்கலாம். யாருக்குள்ள கொஸ்டின் இருக்கோ நீங்க ஹேண்ட் ரைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. You can unmute yourself, you can ask the question. ஓகேங்களா? Then you can go to the chat and you can answer all your other questions. ஓகேங்களா? Sometimes it might cover also.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you have
கொஞ்சம் क्वेश्चंस இருக்கு, அத ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அட்ரஸ் பண்ணிடலாங்களா? क्वेश्चन ஆன்சர் செஷன்ல.
Okay, சரி. Let me open the chat first.
Chat it's there.
Yeah. So Ravi sir, the first question is like does a kid need a SSN for kids starting for the Roth? Do we need a SSN for kids to start the Roth?
Okay, so before I answer the question, like the reason they're asking, like there are kids who has like SSN and some kids have only 18. 18 stands for their tax identification number. Okay, that's the reason they're asking. So yes, the answer is yes, they need to have an SSN here. 18 is only for some deduction purpose. Okay, so yeah.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, what is the definition of short-term rental real estate? House offered as Airbnb.
Sorry, sir?
House offered as Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
So Airbnb la rental லாம் பண்ணுவோம்ல, அத பத்தி கேக்குறாங்க. Real estate.
Got it, sir. Okay, yeah. So the moment we say short-term rental, there are some key provisions. High level, I say less than 7 days rental is what the first terms. Again, details are here. Can the same person be in 7 days or multiple days? Like we don't want to get into the details. Like 7 days and less is what the short-term rental definition. But the same person can keep booking it, like all those things, like leave it. Leaving aside, the moment you say short-term rental, the more important the more important is for the bonus depreciation. So the bonus depreciation is eligible for your income write-off? That is the question they're asking about, like, okay. So having said that one, like, short-term rental is eligible to offset against your regular W2 or portfolio income, but subject to this condition also. Just because of you saying short-term rental, it's not eligible. You have to meet these 4-5 criteria also. That 7 days rental criteria, material participation of 100 hours, those kind of, like, criteria, okay, right? But that's all a simple one. So in short, if I say, if you have a short-term rental, I think most of the people know what it is, like, if you are doing it, yes, it can offset against your W2 portfolio income.
Thank you, sir. Thank
I
you.
think the question I reframed it, sir. The question is, are you referring short-term real estate is like offering a house as Airbnb? Is that what you're referring? That's what the question.
Okay. Again, answer is yes. Like, whatever Airbnb is called for the short-term rental. Okay, let's say Airbnb, but if you have a people who are staying for more than 7 days, then it's not a short-term rental, right? So just the Airbnb doesn't qualify for the short-term rental. So it could be anything. Your ADU, JDU, it could be anything, right? Not the Airbnb, any house, right? As long as, like, you rent it less than 7 days for a person, and you materially participate 100 hours a year, basic high level, I'm saying, we're eligible, to claim a short-term rentals.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. The next question, sir. A person on a H-1B visa earning more than 200K and owning an investment property that is generating a rental loss of 25K. Can this loss be offset against other incomes such as portfolio gains or W2 income for tax purposes?
Good question. Good question. Okay. Again, before I answer this question, like, let me just give a high level of just 1 minute on. Okay. There is something called active, passive. Okay. Active stands for, I'm a big fan of active K1 loss. Very big fan, like, okay, because that is the one which offset against your W2 portfolio income. Okay. Example of active K1 loss is nothing but your any business income which you are doing, like, because you can get material, you can say, like, right? Short-term rental, it is active K1 loss, okay, right? But coming to a rental property, if someone is, doesn't matter whether it's 200K or 500K, whatever your income or visa status also doesn't matter. But coming to your rental property, the moment you say it's a regular long-term rental, it is a passive income or passive loss. Income is always taxable. Only the loss is what you're talking about. In this question also, it is a rental loss, whether that can offset against your W2 or portfolio income. Since this being a passive, the passive loss can offset only against your passive income. Okay. The definition, again, passive, as the name itself says, like, passive is something you are not active. Okay. The active definition, again, like, we saw, like, 100 hours for a short term, 750 hours for the real estate professional, and those kind of things, like, okay. So mostly this kind of scenario, it's a long-term rental, it's a passive loss which can offset again only against your passive income, which means you won't have much of the passive income to carry forward for your future.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. I think the next question is like something around what you have displayed on the screen. So the question is like one of the slides, the IUL row you mentioned, like check if there is a no MEC, right? What is that and how to check?
I might, that's an insurance question. Like, I'm not an expert. I have some little knowledge, but rather me, answering. If Mr. Govind Sarsal, maybe he can answer that question. He's expert. But I'll defer it. You can even check with him offline with Mr. Govind. Okay.
Okay. Okay. And then the last question on the chart is like, how does the carry forward schedule D works for the stock losses?
Okay. So schedule D, like, it's up for life. Okay. It just like, there's no limitation. It's only 3,000 every year, like, as a max, like, you can climb it or restore, like, it's just the life.
அரிஸ்டாட்டல் நான் தான் அந்த கொஸ்டின் கேட்டேன், பேசலாமா?
நீங்க
தான் கை தூக்கிருக்கீங்க, அவர் தான் வச்சிருக்காரு.
வணக்கம் ரவி அண்ணா, மிக்க நன்றி. முதல்ல 2027 செயற்குழு உறுப்பினர்களுக்கு மிக்க நன்றி. இதே மாதிரி ஒரு அருமையான ஒரு கலந்துரையாடலை ஏற்பாடு செய்ததுக்கு, அதுவும் நம்ம பே ஏரியாவில் நம்மளுடைய லாங் டேர்ம் சப்போர்ட்டர் நம்ம ரவி அண்ணா நம்ம ஃபெட்னாவுக்கு 2015 சப்போர்ட் பண்ணதுலேருந்து அவர் ரொம்ப நாளாக சப்போர்ட் பண்ணிட்டுருக்காரு. அண்ணா உங்களுக்கும் மிக்க நன்றி. இந்த கேரி ஃபார்வர்ட் பற்றி நான் தான் கேட்டேன். இன்னொன்று ரெண்டாவது இந்த டொனேஷன்ஸ் பற்றி எவ்வளோ நம்ம கிளைம் பண்ணலாம், அதுக்கு நம்ம ரெசிப்ட் வேண்டுமா? அது இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நான் போன வருஷம் ஒரு $5,000 நான் ஃபெட்னாவுக்காக நான் டொனேட் பண்ணேன். ஆனால் நம்மளுக்கு ரெசிப்ட் கொடுத்தது ஆஃப்டர் டேக்ஸ் பெனிஃபிட்ஸ்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு $1,500 தான் கொடுத்தாங்க. பிகாஸ் நான் அந்த இதை கொஞ்சம் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டேன், அந்த பெனிஃபிட்டை யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கேன், ஹோட்டல் ஸ்டே அது மாதிரிலாம் ஸோ இப்போ நான் அந்த $5,000 நான் டேக்ஸில் கிளைம் பண்ண முடியுமா, இல்லை அந்த $1,500 அந்த ரெசிப்ட் கொடுத்ததுக்கு முன்னே தான் பண்ண முடியுமா, அதில் எப்படி அது அதை பற்றி கொஞ்சம்
Very
explain
good
பண்ணுங்க.
question. ரொம்ப
I'll
important.
add, sorry, sir, one quick thing. I'll add just one quick thing. So this is in recording. In case if anyone is like having any questions, anything you are sharing as a personal one, please avoid that. Yeah.
ஆமாம்,
But this is
மிக்க நன்றி அரிஸ்டாட்டில் அது சொன்னதுக்கு மிக்க நன்றி. நான் ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்காக நான் அது கோட் பண்ணால் அதை நீங்கள் கரெக்டாக எடுத்துக்க வேணாம். பட் ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு டொனேஷன்.
It's a very good question. Like, when it comes to donation, like, okay, again, I want to give a little in the question, if I just add little background, then that covers like even other supportive questions on this one, right? So in my entire tax planning, okay, very few areas I ask for the receipt. I'm not doing auditing, right? But then since I come from auditing background, like I do focus on my filing auditing perspective also, right? Having said that one, very few areas I ask for the receipt. Donation is one of that one. The reason is I know for sure any donation more than $1,000 is a triggering area. Okay. I have seen repeatedly many people who donated $10,000 got audited. Just it's a paper audit. It's not a field audit.
Okay.
It's just a paper audit. Paper audit definition is like just a notice. Okay, give the proof. Field audit is more worse. Like, okay, but the paper audits, I want to avoid that. Okay. So having said that point, unless we have a proof, I don't even put that donation. I tell all the people, like, okay, now to answer your question, having said that, you have donated 5,000, which you should be eligible to get the deduction. Your expense should not be related to like this donation. Donation and expense are two different things. You went for an event, you spent some money, some expense, that's completely different.
Okay.
So now, ideally speaking, whatever the organization you donate the money, they should be giving for the money which they receive, not offsetting the expenses and giving the balance. Okay, so in your question, to answer your your situation, 5K is what the donation you have got it, and that's a expense like that's the deduction you should have got in your itemized deduction.
சரிங்க. அந்த கேரி ஃபார்வர்ட் சொல்லும் போதே இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து இப்போ ஒரு $50,000 ஸ்டாக் லாஸஸ் இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். அது வந்து ஏதோ சொல்கிறாங்க, அடுத்த நான் 5 வருஷத்தில் எதுவுமே பண்ணலாம், மேக்ஸிமம் 7 வருஷம், ஒரு வருஷத்துக்கு 3,000 தான் கிளைம் பண்ண முடியும். ஸோ $21,000 தான் கிளைம் பண்ண முடியும். மீதி இருக்கிற $29,000 தட்ஸ் கான். அந்த 7 வருஷத்துக்கு அப்புறம் பண்ண முடியாது 3,000 அது உண்மையா இல்லை அது சரியான?
Okay, I think I answered your question as a life, right? So we know the definition of life.
Oh, life. Okay. So கடைசி வரலாம் அப்ப பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கலாம். Okay, 3,000. Okay.
Yes, sir. It's not passed down to the inheritance. That's the only thing, okay? So whoever said like maybe I don't know they had something, but நீங்க அவங்க என்ன சொன்னாங்கன்னு ஆஃப்லைனா சொல்லுங்க. We'll check. I don't want to deny that.
சரிங்க, நான் இது ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு கேட்டாங்க அதனால கேட்டேன். மிக்க நன்றி. Thank you. ஆமா, அடுத்து
thanks Karthik. Thank you. Next வந்து ஜெகன் அர்த்தனாரி. Yeah. ஜெகன் பேசலாம்.
Thank you. Thanks, Ravi. Thank you for some wonderful session. Appreciate it. Another question வந்துட்டு, you talked about the custodian kids Roth இல்லைங்களா?
Yes.
So do you really need to have a 1099 process, or like can I have a simple bookkeeping that this is what I pay to my kids for the purpose of the work they did? Is that document enough, or you need to have a 1099 for them to, or for me to invest in a custodian kids Roth?
Yeah. So again, like to give a little background about that one, like anytime when it comes to the kids Roth, you have to have a W2 1 or 1099 2, or it should be an unearned income, right, in some other forms. So இப்போ உங்க क्वेश्चनக்கு என்னன்னா வந்து 1099 இல்ல W2 இல்ல, நான் just சிம்பிளா புக் கீப் சிம்பிளா உங்களோட இதுல இருந்து பண்ணலாம், which is nothing but the gift. Do you have a company?
No.
You don't have a company. Okay, which means it's a gift. Goes from your personal account. Gift is not allowed. Having said this one, then apna eppadi na raad panna mudiyum? There are ways like do it. I take it offline. I'll explain it. Okay. There are legal ways like do the to contribute to the kids. Okay. So that repeatedly I've seen people have been doing it. We'll take it offline. I'll explain that for how to do it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And the next one is Dayana. Dayana, thank you for joining now.
Yes, sir.
ஹலோ, வணக்கங்க. வணக்கம் ரவி. ரொம்ப நன்றி நீங்க பண்றதுக்கு வந்து உங்களுடைய எக்ஸ்பர்டைஸ் ஷேர் பண்றதுக்கு. ஸோ தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். ஸோ என்னுடைய கொஸ்டின் வந்து
இதுக்கு முன்னாடி நான் ஒண்ணு சொன்னோம், ராஜேஷ் சார் சொன்ன அதே ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் உங்களுக்கு எங்க இருந்து தான் உங்களுக்கு இந்த எனர்ஜி வந்தது? வெரி மோட்டிவேஷனல். ப்ளீஸ் கண்டினியூ. ஓகே.
ஸோ என்னுடைய இது கொஸ்டின் வந்து என்னன்னா, இப்போ வந்துட்டு நம்ம அந்த ஐஆர்ஏ வந்து ட்ரெடிஷனல் ஐஆர்ஏல வந்து 7,500 நம்ம போடலாம். அதுக்கப்புறம் அதை பேக்டோர் ராத் மூவ் பண்ணலாம். அதே மாதிரி வந்து 401Kலயும் நீங்க வந்து கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணிட்டு மீதி எக்ஸஸ் வந்து ராத்துல போடலாம். இப்போ எய்தர் 401Kல போட முடியும், இல்லைன்னா ஐஆர்ஏ அந்த 7,500 போட முடியுமா, இல்ல ரெண்டுமே அப்ளிகபிளா?
ரெண்டுமே சார், இது வேற அது வேற. ஓகேங்களா? எல்லாத்துக்கும் லிமிட் 70,000. ஸோ
ஆ
அதுலயே ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு கிளாரிபிகேஷன் என்னன்னா, நீங்க ஐஆர்ஏ பேக் டோர் சொன்னீங்களா, அது கரெக்டான ஒரு விஷயம். ரைட்?
ஆ
அதனால
ஓகே
பேக் டோர்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஏன்னா ராத்துக்கு இன்கம் ஃபேஸ் அவுட் இருக்கும். யூ கேனாட் டைரக்ட்லி கான்ட்ரிபியூட் டு த ராத் அபவ் சர்டன் இன்கம் இல்ல.
ம்
அதனாலதான் ஐஆர்ஏ போஸ்ட் டாக்ஸ் மணி போட்டுட்டு, ஏன்னா விச் அலோஸ் தென் யூ கன்வெர்ட் டு பேக் டோர் ராத்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஓகேங்களா? விச் அகைன்
ம்
ராத், ரைட்? Now the
ஆமா
இன்னொன்னு நீங்க 401க்கும் அதே மாதிரி பண்ணிட்டு அதை கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணணும். 401k கன்வர்ஷன் கிடையாது. 401k is 401k. Once when
ம்
you contribute to the 401k extend, இது வந்து சப் அக்கௌண்ட் இன்னொன்னு மெகா 401kன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. மெகா ராத்தா தான். ஓகேங்களா?
ஆ
That's
ம்
separate account. உங்க எம்ப்ளாயருக்கு நீங்க என்ன பண்ண, once when you talk to your employer on your paycheck itself, they'll take that money directly to that மெகா ராத்துக்கு போடுவாங்க. அது
ஆமா ஆமா
கன்வர்ஷன்.
இப்ப நம்ம மெகாராத்துக்கு கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணா இந்த ட்ரெடிஷனல் ஐஆர்ஐ யூஸ் பண்ண, ஏன்னா அதுல இருக்கிற லிமிட்டை கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் இங்க வரணுமா இல்ல?
எல்லாம் கம்பைன்ட் ஒன். இது எய்தர் ஆறு கிடையாது, இது ஆல். பட்
ஓகே
எல்லாம் சேர்த்து கம்பைன்ட் 70k லாஸ்ட் இயர், 72
ஓகே
2026. ஓகே சார். இது
ஓகே
எல்லாம் நீங்க நான் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு முதல்ல சொல்லும்போது ஐ ரெக்கமெண்ட் ஹேவ் அ
ம்
பேலன்ஸ்.
ம்
ப்ரீ டாக்ஸ் கோர்ஸ் ரெண்டு பேலன்ஸா வச்சுங்க. அண்ட் நீங்க எல்லாமே நீங்க பண்ணலாம் இது.
ஓகே 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 யா அதுதான். தேங்க்யூ.
தேங்க்யூ சார்.
Thank you, Anna. Thanks for joining. Nirthya Kanax, next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Karthik on
Okay.
behalf of Nitya.
Okay.
Thanks for organizing this thing. It's very useful.
Yes.
எனக்கு ஒரு கொஸ்டின் இருக்கு நான் ரவினா. பேசிக்லி ராத் ஐஆர்ஏல இன்கம் லிமிடேஷன் இருக்கா? இஃப் இட் இஸ் மோர் தென் திஸ் மச் இன்கம் ராத் ஐஆர்ல ட்ரெடிஷனல் ஐஆர்ல ஏதாவது கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ண முடியாத லிமிடேஷன் ஏதாவது இருக்கா?
ரெண்டுத்துலயுமே இருக்கு சார். ராத்துக்கும் இருக்கு, ட்ரெடிஷனல் ஐஆருக்கு ரெண்டுத்துக்குமே லிமிட் இருக்கு. ஓகேங்களா? ரெண்டுமே மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த பீப்புள் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு பே ஏரியால பீப்புள் நாட் எலிஜிபிள். ஓகேங்களா? அதனாலதான் ராத் இஸ் பேக் டோர் ராத் இஸ் த ஒன்லி ஆப்ஷன் லைக் விச் ஐ ரெக்கமெண்ட். ரைட் சார்? ஓகேங்களா? ஸோ ஹேவிங் செட் தட் ஒன் லைக் ஓகே, உங்களோட பர்டிகுலர் சிச்சுவேஷன்ஸ் நீங்க ஏற்கனவே பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்களா இல்ல பண்ணணுமான்னு கேக்குறீங்களா?
மீன்ஸ் நான் இது வரைக்கும் பண்ணதில்லை. ஸோ ஐ வாண்ட் டு கான்ட்ரிபியூட் ஒரு பேக் ஐஆர்ஏ. ஸோ அது எப்படி பண்ணணும்னு எனக்கு தெரியல, அது feasibility. So that's what I'm
Offline, like please reach out to me, and I'll guide you through the process. The answer is yes, you can do it. How we can do it? It's just a small sequence of activity that I'll guide you through that process. No cost, I'll do it at no obligation to you. Okay?
ஓகே சார். ஸோ இது வந்து பேக்டோர் ராத் ஐஆர் தான் பாசிபிள். இன்கம் இஸ்
அதுதான் மோஸ்ட்லி உங்களுக்கு ரெக்கமெண்டடா இருக்கும். அதுதான் மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் தி பீப்புள் ஆர் எலிஜிபிள் ஃபார் தி பேக்டோர் ராத். ஓகே? மெகான்றது இன்னொன்னு, அது உங்க எம்ப்ளாயரோட பேசுங்க.
ஓகே. அண்ட் இதுல பேக்டோர் ஐஆர்ஏல லிமிடேஷன் இருக்கா? எவ்வளவு அமௌண்ட் பர் இயர் கான்ட்ரிபியூட்?
7,000 for the last year, sir.
$7,000 only.
Yeah. You still have a time until like April 15th.
Oh, okay. Oh, we can still do it, right? Okay.
7:15 வரையும் April 15 வரையும் பண்ணலாம் சார். ஓகே?
Okay. Thank you.
And plus kids க்கு consider running if you have a kids. That's more important. That's a powerful savings.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Next. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next வந்து ராஜேஷ்.
நானே கேட்கிறேன். எனக்கு ஒரு கொஸ்டின். ரவி சார், ஒண்ணு இப்ப நம்மளோட அந்த 401k இருக்குல்ல, ஸோ இஃப் யூ மூவ் ஒன் ஃப்ரம் ஒன் கம்பெனி டு அனதர் கம்பெனி, ரைட், யுவர் 401k will be there in that old account only. ஸோ அதை நான் இன்ன வரைக்கும் merge எதுவும் பண்ணவே இல்லை. ஸோ இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 4 டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கம்பெனியில் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறப்ப அதெல்லாம் அப்படியே முடிஞ்சப்பறம் நான் மூவ் பண்ணல, அது க்ளோஸ் நம்மள அப்படியே இருக்குது. ஸோ இது மாதிரி இருக்குது குட்டா இல்லை எல்லாத்தையும் merge பண்ணுறது குட்டா? ஜஸ்ட் வாண்ட் டு நோ. merge பண்ணால் ஒரு பிக் அமௌண்ட்டாக இருக்கும். ஸோ அப்போ வந்து இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணுறப்ப அது எப்படி, அது வந்து இட் க்ரோ பிகரா இல்லை தனித்தனியாக சங்காக இருக்கிறது? ஜஸ்ட்
வெரி குட் கொஸ்டின். ஐம் கிளாட் லைக் யூ ஆஸ்க் திஸ் ஒன். ஓகே, ரைட்? என்ன கேட்டீங்கன்னா மை ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன் லைக் உங்களோட 401க்கையும் மற்றதையும் தனியா வச்சுக்கோங்க. நான் மற்றதுன்னு சொல்லும் போது இப்போ லெட்ஸ் சே somebody work like 3 companies. பழசு 2 கம்பெனி, புதுசு பழைய கரண்ட் கம்பெனி இருக்கு. ஸோ கரண்ட் கம்பெனி 401k you cannot do anything. You have to go with your employer. பட் பழைய 2 கம்பெனி மெர்ஜ் பண்ணிக்கங்க. இதுக்கு ஏன் நான் சொல்றேன்னா, தேர் ஆர் நீங்க பழைய கம்பெனி சொல்லும் போது 401k சொல்ல மாட்டீங்க. though it's a 401k contribution, it becomes IRA. okay? IRA has given a certain specific benefit in investment that's more powerful. You can choose which stocks to invest. You can choose like in your investment opportunities, right? So when these days like so much of information available online and with the friends and families, I strongly recommend to do the IRA investments. 401k பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு லிமிடேஷன். அவங்க ஒன்லி MF மியூச்சுவல் ஃபண்ட் இதுல மட்டும் தான் பண்ணலாம். இந்த செட் ஆஃப் திங்ஸ் மட்டும் தான் கொடுப்பாங்க. உங்களோட ப்ரொவைடர் என்ன பண்ணா அதெல்லாம் நீங்க பண்ண முடியும். யூ டோன்ட் ஹேவ் மச் ஆஃப் லிவரேஜ் ஆன் தட். ஓகே? சோ having said that one, மத்த இது கரண்ட் 401 மத்த எல்லாம் மெர்ஜ் பண்ணி ஒரே அக்கவுண்ட் வச்சு ஈஸி டு மேனேஜ் and it's a good investment vehicle, like you get it.
ஓகே சார், நான் ஆஃப்லைன் பேசணும், நான் பேசுகிறேன். தேங்க்யூ. தேங்க்யூ.
தேங்க்யூங்க.
ஒரு கொஸ்டின் வந்து
நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து சார்ட்ல ஒரு நெக்ஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின் இருக்கு. கேன் யூ ப்ளீஸ் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் ஹூ நீட்ஸ் டு ஃபைல் FVAR? Do we need to declare mutual fund investments?
ஃபாரின் பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட் சார், இது வந்து எஃப்ஆர் ஸ்டாண்ட்ஸ் ஃபார் ஓகே சார். இதெல்லாம் கேட்கறதுக்கு ரொம்ப அதாவது கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸ் பெர்ஸ்பெக்டிவ்ல ரொம்ப காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் மாதிரி தெரியும். ரொம்ப சிம்பிளான விஷயம் சார். புட்டிட் லைக் இது சார், வெதர் இஸ் ஃபட்கா ஆர் எஃப்ஆர், ரெண்டுமே வந்து ஃபாரின் அக்கௌண்ட் ரிலேட்டட் தான். ஓகே ரைட். 10,000க்கு மேல நீங்க if you have like more than $10,000 in US combined all accounts, you have to report. It's just the reporting tool, okay? But again, when we say reporting, let's not take it light. Like, okay, they start with the reporting. They also have another form in the regular tax return to declare that information here. FBAR is 114, form 114 சொல்லுவாங்க. That goes to completely a different department, FinCEN department, ஓகேங்களா? Financial, crime department சொல்ல அந்த டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டுக்கு போகுதுன்னு வச்சுங்க, ரைட்? அது independent of IRS. But அதே சமயத்துல அந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ஐஆர்எஸ்க்கு வருது. இப்போ now what does that we do? Like it's information rank, then why do people like care about it? Okay, in the information like what is, okay, let's say if you have more than $10,000, obviously you will have some interest. Are you reporting the interest income? So in my filing, like in all the filing, I make sure like okay, I tell the people like better to report it, because the complaints perspective, இதெல்லாம் வந்து I've seen the worst case. I don't want to like scare the people, but I've seen a worst case like one doctor, right? From our one community, but then he had to face this like a big issue. It went up to the felony, right? Non-reporting. So நான் தப்பா இருந்தா கூட ரிப்போர்ட் பண்ணிடுங்க, எனக்கு கரெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். செகண்ட் திங், ஓகே, நான் ரிப்போர்ட் பண்ணிட்டு லைக் அதனால நிறைய இஷ்யூஸ், ஒரு இஷ்யூஸ் எதுவுமே இல்லைங்க. whatever the income you get it, like whatever you get it from India, you're going to report it here. You use the FTC, foreign tax credit, whatever. அங்க எப்படி இந்தியால வந்து it's very rigid these days. If you have an income, they deduct TDS, only then the balance money they give it to you. So all those TDS you can claim it here. So eventually, I've not seen anyone paying tax for all this income. But reporting perspective, whether I'll get it like stuck here, if I report it on a continuously ongoing basis, every year I report like no, don't worry about it. Whatever you have it like report it. No worry about like the taxes and all, like okay. And then and also like I say the cross-border transaction, நிறைய confusions people இருக்கு. நான் இந்த மாதிரி accounts வச்சிருக்கேன், எனக்கு properties இருக்கேன். Whatever is there in your name is what you should worry about it. If it is not there in your name, don't even worry about it. என்னோட parents பேர்ல இருக்கு, some property I have in my parents' name, and some investment I have in parent and my brother name. Don't worry, that's all independent. Indian taxation system, like it works even a little more different. There is nothing like there married filing joint. In India, it is even like a single. Everyone files tax return. You all know that one. இங்கதான் married filing joint or at least like ஒரு concept is like it's here, right? Okay, having said that one, now everything is like whatever is there not your name, don't worry about it. Whatever is there, like it's only thing like which you are like report it minimally இத பண்ணிக்கலாம். So FBAR, yes, you have to like report it. I strongly recommend.
Thank you.
சாமி
தேங்க்யூங்க. கொஸ்டின் அந்த ஆக்சுவலா எனக்கு இருக்கிற கொஸ்டின் அந்த ப்ரீவியஸா ரெண்டு சொன்னீங்கல்ல, ஒன்று வந்து அந்த ப்ரீவியஸ் எம்ப்ளாயர்ஸோட 401k எல்லாம் ரோல் அவுட் பண்ணி ஒரு ஐஆர்ஏல வச்சிருக்கோம்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. இப்போ அது இருக்கிறப்ப இந்த பேக்டோர் ராத் ஐஆர்ஏ பண்ண முடியுமா? ஏன்னா நான் என்ன கேள்விப்பட்டேன்னா பேக்டோர் ராத் ஐஆர்ஏ பண்றப்ப எல்லா ஐஆர்ஏவும் டாக்ஸ் பே பண்ணி கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணி ஆகணும் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி ஒருத்தங்க சொன்னாங்க. அது
very again like an interesting question like you asked like okay, இது கொஞ்சம் கன்ஃபியூசிங்கான ஒரு ஏரியா சார். அது இப்போ நான் இதை ஆன்சர் பண்ண விட கன்ஃபியூஷனா தான் இருக்கும். ஓகே ரைட், that is something called pro rate rule applies. Okay, that's for like all combined IRA to put together whatever you contribute and based on the pro rate only like your backdoor rate applies. Okay, that is the provision, but in reality what it happens is a little different. Okay, அதனால in a real world like what it happens, I'm just telling you, I'm not saying the provision allows that one. Okay, but what it happens, right? So post tax money you put it into the IRA and then you convert to the Roth. That is what everyone is doing it in your individual tax return. There is a form called like 8606 like which will be included to say like it's a deduction. Again, technical form number adala vitringa, but practical world everybody is doing this one. But provision wise, if you have a multiple like an IRS combined everything, you have to do the pro rata rule. Okay, it will be very confusing, sir. On the question update like I'll just park it because in whatever the form I answer will be confusing.
Okay. So இப்போ பண்ண முடியுமா பண்ண முடியாதா? அது if I have previous employers IRA, can I?
If you do it, it's a pro rata rule applies.
Oh, I see. Okay,
answer right. But practical world, people have been doing it and I have not seen anyone getting into the issues.
Oh, I see. Understood. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
கம்பெனி பொறுப்புலன்னு சொல்றீங்க.
Thank you, Rajesh sir. Thanks for.
நீங்க பண்ணுங்க, கம்பெனி பொறுப்பு கிடையாது. சொல்லுங்க.
கம்பெனிலேயே ஃபண்ட் இல்ல. அதுவே பஞ்சாயத்து.
லாஸ்ட் ஒன் பேருங்க.
Okay,
லாஸ்ட் ஒன் பேருங்க. சாரி.
Vijayன்னு சொல்லிட்டு does the 70k limit for the mega backdoor 401k include the 7k Roth IRA contribution?
Yes, everything sir.
Okay.
All retirement accounts including your employer contribution, including your business contribution, SEP IRA, solo for everything put together. It's 70 for the last year, 72 for 26.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question எதுவும் இல்லைன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். I think everyone done. So
நான் ஒரு கொஸ்டின் கேக்குறேன் சார்.
உங்க கொஸ்டின் கேளுங்க.
ஆமா,
இப்ப ஈஸி டர்ன்.
been like ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கேன் ஒரு லாஸ்ட் 1 வீக்கா. ஸோ சார், ஒரு பிகினரா as a சிம்பிள், எனக்கு இது எந்த நாலேஜுமே இல்லை அப்படின்னா தென் வேர் டு ஐ ஸ்டார்ட்? ஐ பிலீவ் இந்த கொஸ்டின்ஸ் நிறைய பேருக்கு இருக்க வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. யா.
Okay, let me put it this way. Okay, let's say you have only W2 income. That's the baseline, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Only W2 income. I don't have anything else like, okay, I don't even have rental properties. I have only W2 and some portfolio income, which is standard. Stocks, interest இல்ல, இது மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு. நான் இதுல என்ன சேவ் பண்ண முடியும்? இதுல சேவிங் பொட்டன்ஷியல் ரொம்ப 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 கம்மி சார். ஓகேங்களா? So having said this, what is that like I can do? Yes, you can do a lot of things. First and foremost things, I think I told you like earlier, like in this presentation, 2 things is must in this country. One is having an entity. The second is living trust. Without this, like, do not like think of running your life. So when I say the moment I say like having an entity, like okay, now if I have an entity, what are the benefits? Like so like all the startup company, like how they do it, like their intention is good. They want to explore something. It could be anything. It could be online business. It could be practical, like some consulting, anything like it could be. So you have an entity now. The moment you have an entity, now you have a vehicle which gets you a lot of savings. So that I will take it offline, like whatever legally, like you can climb it. So that's the first and foremost thing, like I will recommend all the people. Okay, having said this one, okay, I heard like there are like a lot of complaints, like which have like do it. There is ongoing maintenance expenses. Yes, of course. All you have to look at all. I'd say like people cost versus benefit. That's all. Let's say you are able to save like $10,000 and you have to spend like $2,000. It's a 5x of return. Consider that one. If you're spending 2,000 and if you're earning only like 1,000, it's waste of money, right? Which never happens. You will be able like save at least like 4x, 5x of that savings for the investment which you make, right? So it's a legal way. So to start with, that's the first vehicle, like I would say. The second vehicle, I would say, like an investment vehicle, which you're already doing it. For example, people are doing the brokerage account. Why not you do the mega? It's the same thing, right? You do the same thing, and then you get the like a much bigger benefit of the tax-free growth. Third thing, you do invest on the properties. When you're investing on the property, like why not you consider the property which gets you a higher deduction in the year 1, which is like an STR property, short-term rental property. So this is high levels, like I would say there are like few more things like which people can consider. Not the oil one, definitely not. Like all the legitimate which can bring you the savings. Yeah, hope I answered the question.
Thank you, sir. It's helpful. Yeah, Varadarajan next.
Yeah. So Ravi, actually, in the past, you also suggest some of the home office type would also bring some tax savings and also kind of a growth aspect. No, I thought like some of the area you would cover it, but is it something that is beyond this scope? You actually intentionally kept it off. Like,
yeah, I would say like it's a it'll be too much of information for this crowd. That's what I thought. Basically, since like brought it up, I'll say like that's where the entity formation, which is said, right? It comes underneath. So on the entity, like what all like savings ticket, that's why I say like an offline, like, okay, right? Because the home office deduction is the one area we have to be really skeptical about it. Like it's not something very easy. Like, there's something called you all can go and read like an Augusta rule, like that is a standard rule which is available. Extension of that is called right. But the moment you have an entity, then further down, drill down, like there are other benefits. So that's why I just stop it at the high level entity formation, which gives you a lot of benefits, and then you can drill down later like an offline. Okay, right, sir. Yeah, okay.
2 more questions இருக்குங்க ஸ்ட்ரகிள். அதே மாதிரி 8 o'clock முடிச்சிடலாங்க எல்லாத்துக்கும், ஏன்னா ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 2 hours போயிட்டு இருக்கு. Yeah. குயிக்கா போயிருங்க.
சார்ட்ல இருக்குங்க. ஓகே, ஆலமுத்து கேட்டிருக்காரு. ஐ ஹேவ் solo 401k as a self-employed and SEP IRA. Is it good to continue with the solo 401k or SEP IRA Roth IRA?
சார் ரெண்டுமே வேற. 401k இஸ் த டெஃபர்ட், செல்ஃப் இஸ் தி எம்ப்ளாயர் போர்ஷன், ரைட்? இது எம்ப்ளாயி, அது எம்ப்ளாயர். ரெண்டுமே கண்டினியூ பண்ணுங்க. both are good for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The next question. In India, I have some mutual funds from long back. I have not done any buy or sell for more than 10 years. Okay, the amount just sits in mutual funds. Do I need to pay any taxes in US for that?
Okay, it's a really it's a kind of like a gray area, sir. In a taxation system between India and US, like it varies on certain areas, right? India charges tax based on your unrealized gain or loss. The name itself is unrealized gain. Whether you sell the property or not, or sell the stock or not, you still like not the property stock, like you still like have to pay taxes. That's called unrealized gain, right? Whereas in US, it's only on a realized basis. No matter like even if you hold a stock for 10 years, only when you sell it, the capital gain triggers, okay? So it's kind of a little gray, like how do we report that one? In general, like how we follow, I'll tell you, but I'll take this question as an offline if you have specific situation, like okay. So in general, like because in India they do deduct the taxes. So because of the fact like they deduct the taxes, we report it here, and then once when the actual sale event happens, we try to get like all the credits here, right? Okay. So it's a little bit of gray area, like I'll just like leave it offline. Okay, but bottom line, yes, whatever the tax is filed there, we have to report to the election in here also.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next question.
Thank you.
When you say entity, is it like opening an LLC?
Good. Entity definition itself, like very high level. If I say like formation, the second one is federal level formation. Okay, at the state level, when you form an entity, there is only three major categories. Like okay, you call it as a partnership, or an LLC, or a corporation. There is not like an S corporation, C corporation, nothing like that. It's a partnership, LLC, or a corporation. There are only three categories you will see at the state level. Now, when you go to the federal level, you take like majority people either like form a LLC or a corporation. If you go to the federal level, the moment you say partnership, by default, they will say you are a disregarded entity if you are a single member. If it's a multi-member, by default, they will say you are a partnership. Though it's a LLC at the federal level, they call it as a by default single member, multi-member definition, right? When you say corporation at the federal level, by default they call it as a C corporation, right? You can call it as a S corp. You can elect for S corporations, okay, right? So at the high level, if I say at the state level, you say LLC or a corporation. At the federal level, it's where you differentiate whether it's S corporation, C corporation, okay? But there's a separate election we have to make it. It's a very good question you asked. Like, I want to say like one real time examples. One Andhra client, like young lady, so who had like close to $500,000 income, like okay, so she found an LLC in 2023 through an accountant, like through a proper channel, like she did accountant form, like they gave it. So now 2024, she goes to file a tax return for 2023. Some of her friends say, hey, you found an LLC, but then you could have done like an S corporation election, which could have saved a lot of taxes because she had a LLC income, right? LLC income was subject to 15.3% self-employment tax. Most important, a lot of people make a mistake. It's not an income tax, it's a self-employment tax, right? Which is an additional tax which people pay. So now when she said, like, she went to the account, she asked, hey, somebody said, like, that I could do it. Yes, you can do it, like, but you didn't ask me for it, okay? So her mind was like, man, you should be telling me now. Poor lady, like, she didn't have any choice. She filed, 23 return with the tax of, like, she paid around like $12,000 extra just on the self-employment tax. So she came to me last year, 2025, with the same situation. Around like June of 2025, like, she came to me, she said, hey, in this situation, I was stuck last year, like, but even I didn't have time to after that, like, do S corporation. But my accountant said she did file the S corporation in 2024 of June, but IRS rejected because of late filing election. They rejected that, and then they gave approval from 1st Jan of 2025, which is last year. Now she is in 2025 again for 2024 filing. So what I said, like, okay, I can try this one. Usually when IRS reject, like, they won't take the election previous year. It's only the current year. But I'll try. I said within 30 days, I was able to get the approval effective 1st Jan of 2024, by which she saved around like 42,000 of self-employment tax because she had a close like huge income, like around like 225,000 something like she had income. So I was able to save it and then I'm booking everything. So having said this one, now to answer LLC or a corporation, I always suggest based on the people need. Majority people, if it's just the entity for your business purpose, it's a corporation, which also saves you $800 for the first year. If it is for the investment purpose, I always suggest LLC. Hope that answers sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and
ஓகேங்க ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 8 o'clock ஆயிடுச்சு. நம்ம ஏன்னா ஐ நோ லாஸ்ட் கொஸ்டினா வச்சுக்குவோம், இதுக்கப்புறம் வேணாலும் வேணாம் பாருங்க. ஓகேங்க, நல்ல டைம் ஆயிடுச்சு. ஏன்னா 8 o'clock. I want to respect other times too.
Yeah. Are you doing, sir, next question, last question. Are you doing a crypto taxes as well?
Answer is yes, sir. Like it is same as each other portfolio income. We can cover detail in the offline. Right.
Okay, sir. 1 second. I will just quickly share my screen so people can take a screenshot or contact information. Ravi sir oda contact informations நீங்க வேணும்னா கண்டிப்பா நீங்க இந்த screen தெரியுதுங்களா?
Yes.
So in the right side இருக்கிறது அவருடைய full details. It includes like bookkeepingprotax.com is his website. அவருடைய காண்டாக்ட் நீங்கள் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா ravi@bookkeepingprotax.com அந்த இமெயில் பண்ணலாம். அப்படி இல்லை அப்படின்னா அவருடைய ஃபோன் நம்பர் 408-829-9362. அப்படி உங்களால் கணக்கு எல்லாமே மறந்துருச்சு அப்படின்னாலும் பரவாயில்ல, நீங்கள் தமிழ் மன்றத்தை ரீச் பண்ணுங்க. பிகாஸ் இஸ் அவர் ஸ்பான்சர், வி வில் ஆல்வேஸ் ஹேவ் ஹிஸ். இல்லைன்னா அவர் வீட்டில் போய் கூட நாங்கள் பிடிச்சிட்டு வந்துடுவோம். சரிங்களா?
Good one.
Okay. சரி. With that, I think
no midnight calls, right? No midnight calls. Ravi.
With that, நான் என்ன பண்றேன் அப்படின்னா
you can
take one picture and then we'll give a thank you note now.
Yeah, that's what we are. We'll take one picture. If you are able to come in video, please come. So we'll take one group picture. Team, friends, எல்லாரும் என்ன நீங்க எவ்வளவு பேர் ஜாயின் இருக்கீங்க? I know initially it was almost like 66 people were there, like a online crowd, and I know some of them are got the detail, they left actually. That is fine, but others, if possible, just come in video if possible. We want to know and just to know. That's it. எல்லாரும் முடிஞ்சா வீடியோல வாங்க. நான் உங்களோட மூஞ்சி தெரிஞ்சா உங்களுக்கு பார்க்கிறதுக்கு எங்க பார்க்க கூட நமக்கு புரியும். அதுக்கு தான் பாசிபிள். ஓகே, that's fine. You can take a picture.
Picture எடுக்கிறீங்களா? வருது.
நான் எடுக்கிறேன். ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருங்க.
எடுங்க வருது.
ஓகே.
host has disabled video not the.
அப்படி இருங்க ஒரே நிமிஷம்.
நான் எடுத்துட்டேன்.
ஓகே.
நான் one more எடுத்துட்டேன்.
Just host disabled video இருக்கு, அதை enable பண்ண முடியுமா?
இல்ல எடுத்துட்டேன் எல்லாமே எடுத்தாச்சு. நீங்க முடிஞ்சா பண்ணிருங்க. Thanks. Nice to see you.
Yeah. 1 second. எல்லா வீடியோ வந்து
5 more second.
பண்ணுங்க. wait.
One more time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you Valdi.
Thank you all.
Okay, wait பண்ணுங்க.
Thanks again to Mr. Rajesh and the entire team. Yeah, sorry.
I think convenient.
One more sir. அமுதா இருக்காங்க.
Convenient வந்து
thank you note கொடுப்பாங்க. நம்ம அமுதா வாங்க, நீங்க பேசுங்க.
Yeah, கண்டிப்பா. So thank you Ravi sir for very informative session இது. So அது மாத்திரம் இல்ல, நாங்க இப்போ கேட்ட எல்லா கேள்விக்கும் நீங்க பொறுமையா ஆன்சர் சொல்லிருக்கீங்க. Really thanks from the bottom of the heart. அப்புறம் இந்த டாக்ஸ் செஷன் அட்டெண்ட் பண்ண கலந்து கொண்ட அனைவருக்கும் BATM சார்பாக மனப்பூர்வமான நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம். ஜஸ்ட் ரிமைண்டருங்க, ஸோ மார்ச்ல வந்து விமென்ஸ் டே இருக்கு. சில அப்ரிசியேஷன் ஃபார் விமென்ஸ் ஆன் March 7th. ப்ளீஸ் உங்க வீட்டில் எல்லாருக்கும் என்கரேஜ் பண்ணி அனுப்பி விடுங்க. ஸோ March 7th, ஓகேங்களா? ஃப்ளையர்லாம் வரும், டீட்டெயில்ஸ் எல்லாம் மேற்கொண்டு எல்லாம் வாட்ஸ்அப்பில் வருங்க. அது மாத்திரம் இல்லை, நமக்கு வந்து March 21st வந்து ஹார்ட் ஹெல்த் அண்ட் வெல்னஸ் ஃபேர் இருக்கு. ஸோ அதில் வந்து தே கேன் டூ த BMI அண்ட் BP செக்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இன்சைட்ஸ் ஆன் நியூட்ரிஷன் டீட்டெயில்ஸ்லாம் கொடுப்பாங்கங்க. மெயினாக வந்து CPR ட்ரைனிங் செஷன் இருக்கு வித் சர்டிஃபிகேஷன். ஸோ நீங்கள் எல்லாரும் முடிஞ்ச அளவு வந்து கலந்துக்கணும். ஓகேங்களா? ரொம்ப நன்றி. தேங்க்யூ ரவி சார் ஒன்ஸ் அகைன்.
Thank you. Thanks for the nice note.
Sir, Ravi sir, நீங்க ஏதோ சொல்ல வந்தீங்களே.
Thank you so much now for the team. It was an amazing coordination. உங்க எல்லாரோட எனர்ஜி லெவலையும் உங்களோட மோட்டிவேஷனையும் பார்த்து I'm inspired. Every one of you, okay, Sarita madam, Amita madam, with all your family commitment, I'm really I admire all of your contribution. It's not easy, I know. There is a big difference, still no matter what you say, a male versus female contribution. இங்க உங்களுக்கு இருக்கிற உங்க ஹஸ்பண்ட் பார்க்கணும், கிட்ஸை பார்க்கணும், உங்களுக்கு மற்ற ஆக்டிவிட்டி இதெல்லாம் தாண்டி இதுக்கு ஒரு 2 மணி நேரம், இதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு 2 மணி நேரம் இதெல்லாம் கொடுத்துட்டு நீங்க பண்ணது அமேசிங். Hats off to you. Thank you so much. ஹரிஷ் சார், உங்களோட பொறுமையை பார்த்து நான் மிரண்டு தான் போய் நிக்கிறேன். The way you are contributing, like, outstanding. You are all setting the stage here. I can see that clearly. Okay, every year, like, last few years நான் அப்படியே மானிட்டர் பண்ணிட்டே வரேன். எனக்கு ரொம்ப திருப்தியா இருந்துச்சு. இந்த வாட்டி அதை விட ஒரு லெவலுக்கு இன்னொரு இடத்துக்கு கொண்டு போன ஃபீல்டு இருக்கு. அது இந்த யங் ஜெனரேஷன் ராஜேஷ்ன்ற ஒருத்தரோட தலைமையில வந்துட்டு இவ்வளவு அருமையா நீங்க பண்றது, you are setting a stage. அடுத்து வரவங்க இதை விட மேல இன்னொரு ஸ்டேஜ் கொண்டு போன தர there is no way, there is no any choice here to give up on this one. Having said that one, I want to thank all of you. Once again, Sarita madam, Amrita madam, thanks for the time and contribution.
மிக்க நன்றி.
So sweet. Yeah.
நன்றி.
Thank you.
அனைவருக்கும் தேங்க்ஸ் டு ஆல் தி எல்லாருக்கும்.
Great,
Thank
great,
you.
everyone. Thank you for
Thank you
joining,
so much.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Make it a successful team and members.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
all.
எல்லாருக்கும்.
Thank you all for joining
Thank
us.
you.
It was a
நன்றி.
wonderful
அனைவருக்கும் நன்றி.
Thank
சரி,
you.
நம்ம வீடியோ க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். சரி,
Live
சாரி,
live
செக்ரட்டரி க்ளோஸ்
ஒரே
பண்ணுங்க.
நிமிஷம் இருங்க. நான்
லைவ் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணுங்க.
1 செகண்ட் வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க. நான் ரெக்கார்டிங் ஸ்டாப் பண்றேன்.
ரெக்கார்டிங் நானும் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணுங்க. எல்லாத்தையும் ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணி
ஹரிஷ் சார், I'm leaving now. Okay.
லைவ்
Okay,
லைவ்
thank you.
ஸ்டாப்
Thank you,
பண்ணுங்க.
Ravi.
நன்றி
Stop
நன்றிங்க ரவி சார்.
நன்றி ரவி. நன்றி ரவி. தேங்க்யூ அனைவருக்கும். செக்ரட்டரி நீங்க வந்து மீடியா க்ளோஸ் பண்ணுங்க.
லைவ் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிடுங்க.
லைவ் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணுங்க. மீட்டிங் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணி லைவ் ஸ்டாப் ஆயிரும். விமலா இருக்கீங்களா? நீங்க க்ளோஸ் பண்ணுங்க, நான் எக்ஸிட் ஆறேன்.
லைவ் இன்னும் போயிட்டு இருக்குங்க.
அது இல்ல, அது க்ளோஸ் பண்ணா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக் க்ளோஸ் ஆயிடும். நீங்க மீடியா க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிருங்க.
ஓகே.
Okay, நான் லீவ் பண்றேங்க.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye,
Let's
bye.
organizing Aristotle.
Let's
It was
drop.
great.
Let's dropங்க. Yeah, let's
எல்லாரும்
drop.
டிராப் ஆயிக்கோங்க. இல்லனா
Okay.
நம்மளே வந்து ரிமூவ் பண்ணலாம். ஓகேங்களா?
Yeah, let's drop and reconnect maybe.
Thank you.
இல்ல. ரீகனெக்ட் இருக்கு.
Reconnect on regular Zoom or same Zoom. Okay.
இல்ல. இப்ப இதுக்கு Zoom. நம்ம
Bye.
9 o'clock மேல இது இருக்குல, அந்த மீட்டிங் ஜாயின் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
We have
Okay.
another call at 9ங்க. Please don't forget.
வேணுமா? இன்னொரு நாள்
ஓகேங்களா?
வச்சுக்கலாமா ராஜேஷ்?
எங்க நான் கிளம்பணும். பாய்ங்க. ஏன்னா நம்ம
ஓகே ராஜேஷ்.
இது முடிச்சு அப்படியே வந்திருக்கேன். நம்ம பேசலாம். ஓகேங்களா? பாய் சரி. சாரி, பாய் விமலா.
தேங்க்யூங்க.